seconds for YouTube to catch up with us. And okay, we're on the YouTube screen,
Yay!
Woo!
which means we need to hit the
Oh
mute
dear.
buttons on YouTube.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Am I feeding back again, or is that something else?
Well, it's
I was
probably you
feeding back
because we
this
just
time.
went live on YouTube. So everybody's got to mute YouTube.
What does here is bring up the.
You sound okay. I'm not hearing any feedback from you.
No, I looked and I don't have the show up yet, so that would kind of explain things. Okay, here we go. Look, and I don't have the. There we are.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Good boy, two watching, and I think I'm one of them. So I don't know here how they do that. We have Angie in the side chat, and in our chat we have Red in the side chat. We
Yep.
have Pirate Kitty. Meow. And then we have this one over here. Is you a pirate kitty? Huh? I know you want all the attention. That's what you want.
Uh-oh.
And I have Kitty laying on my knee.
We lost Jen.
Oh, boy, boy. Oh, God.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
People,
Yes, we got you.
people
Got you,
hope
Jen.
for all of you. Don't get old. It isn't worth it.
In the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap!
Yes.
It is. I wish somebody had told me that.
Well, I decided that for my remaining years, I'm going to pretend I'm only 40 years old.
Well, you know, I've got a lot of little creaks and groans in my joints, but outside of a few things like that, I don't feel much different now than I did when I was 25. Of course,
Oh, yeah.
by the time I was 25, I already had arthritis and bifocals, and people were accusing me of being senile.
All right. Sounds good to me. I should have gone the way one of my girlfriends years and years and years ago wanted to do. Well, of course, she didn't do it either. She wanted to detonate at the age of 50.
Detonate?
Yeah, like go boom.
Wow.
I think she needs a permit for that.
Right?
Well, I'm trying to think this here now. When we were dating, I was 27. She was 12 years older than I. Well, she still is 12 years older than I. So that would have been, let's see, she would have been 39 at the time. Yeah, so looking forward to going boom at 50.
Yeah. It's an interesting perspective thing that before you're 20, being 50 seems incredibly old.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, then you get there and it really is.
I can remember back in 1970, when I was 13, I was thinking, okay, at the turn of the century, I am going to be 43 years old. So at that age, I thought of myself in my 40s. However, I didn't think of myself in my 50s, and I damn sure never thought of myself in my 60s. But here I am. What do you do? What are you going to do, right?
Yeah, I actually remember being in grade school, us discussing whether or not we were going to be alive in the year 2000.
Yep.
You know, and it's like,
several times over.
yeah, that's 2000, I was only 36. That's wasn't really that old, but, you know, when you're 12, 13 years old, 46 seemed like it was pretty old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
really.
my junior high self thinking, God, I'm going to be so old then. And then when I got there, it was like, oh, I'm not that old. Why did I just...
Well, and especially for me, it's like Oh, Pirate Katie's got a birthday coming up this week.
Oh my!
Do you? Happy
But,
birthday
yeah,
to you.
for me, there's 15 years between me and my oldest brother. So my parents were actually close to the same age as most of my friends' grandparents.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, that was the interesting thing. My latest ex and I had that sort of thing going on. Um, let's see. Her parents were well into their 40s when she was born. Um, the slimy bastards were 33 when they brought me home from the baby store. So yeah, we both had the, well, I'll put it in a question mark, so-called parents that were a good bit older than everyone else's,
Yeah.
which was quite interesting, really, the whole dynamic that went on.
Yeah, well, that's both of my parents were in their 40s when I was born.
Okay.
hi, Bob. Yeah.
Baba, hi.
Hey, Bub. I happened to look at Bub's account earlier tonight, and he only needs 4 more subs to hit 400.
Oh my, oh my, oh
So
my.
if anybody in here is not subbed to him, you need to go do that.
Should I sub twice?
I wish there was a way I could. I would.
Well,
No. What I
if
need to
people really
do,
want that, I could do it. I do have a couple of extra accounts, but
I should check and make sure that I haven't been unsubscribed from. No, I'm still subscribed to Bob. It says 396 subscribers.
So close.
Pirate K says she's waiting until he can snipe 400. I've actually done that a couple of times. Just to be a nice round number on somebody, to be the 100th or the 500th account.
Let's see. How is
I used to joke about having an army of 700 sock puppets. I had told Nacho that was the only way he had made his first 1,000 subs.
I'm still sitting on 372. So I'm 628 away from 1,000.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I'm just
It just
barely
cracked
over
50.
200 now. And I'm still not finding any way to fix the problems with my account, so I'm still afraid I'm going to have to scrap this account and start all over.
Oh man, that's too cool. Especially, when you've got started on the account and then you've got to go and start it up all over again. Now, with any degree of luck, most of the subscribers would resubscribe. I mean, I'm hoping that most of your subscribers are paying attention to you.
I'm going to bet that if I have to start a new account, I'll only get about half of them.
Okay.
Just a wild guess, but,
Yeah.
I think that happens for the most part, that there's a lot of people who, will sub to somebody and not really pay attention to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that there are quite a few people subscribed to me who came by once and they subscribed immediately as they were listening, and then later on decided, okay, I'm really not liking this as much as I thought I did. They haven't watched in a year or something like that.
Yeah. Well, or even a lot of them are just dead accounts that, they may be people who had subscribed to me and they abandoned that email account and created a new one. So they subscribed again. So it's the same person under 2 different accounts.
Pirate Kitty would like to know what is wrong with your account. I mean, we know, but Pirate Kitty does not.
Oh, well, for some reason, I can't use any OBS software for chats because my YouTube account refuses to pass the streaming key to them. And for another totally unexplained thing, that YouTube will not allow me to change the thumbnails. It won't let me put custom thumbnails on the chats after they end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is poo-poo.
Huh.
So yeah, it's gotten to be annoying, and especially as there get to be more and more chats up there, if I can't put a custom thumbnail to give people some idea of at least who is involved in the chat, if not a topic, you
Now,
know, if anyone was actually interested in going back and looking at an old one, they'd have no way to figure out which one it is.
yeah. Now you're not able to put a thumbnail on before the chat starts. Is that it?
Well, Streamlab will let me put up a thumbnail before it starts.
Okay.
YouTube does not necessarily recognize that thumbnail. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, great.
Huh.
It's like the thumbnail I put up on Streamlab is always there until the chat starts. But sometimes when YouTube processes it and then it posts again like 2 hours later, sometimes it trashes that thumbnail and it just picks a random image from sometime during the chat.
Are you talking about this StreamYard that we're using? Does
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it's a problem with YouTube. It's not a problem with StreamYard. And it's a weird problem with my account. I've had a couple of people, some tech-savvy people look at it, and nobody can really figure out what it is, but I did have the problem that YouTube had deleted my account twice before I posted my first video. So I suspect it's somehow linked to that somehow there's a bit somehow that didn't get reset properly.
And there's no customer service helping you fix that or nothing like that?
It's YouTube. I send them emails. I get form letters back from bots. I have no indication any human has ever read anything I've sent them.
I don't know if there are any humans that work at YouTube. I'm starting to wonder if the board of directors is a bunch of bots.
It wouldn't surprise me. That's not what I wanted.
Well, Shai and I were talking about that whole
What
thing.
happened?
What?
No, go ahead, Diana.
Oh, yeah. I probably said this more than once, but Shai and I were talking about this at one point a little while back, and he's thinking that Google and YouTube, well, they're the same thing, really, are chasing the corporate dollars and ignoring the little guy who got them going to where they are
Oh, yeah.
today.
I've been
And-
saying that for a long time, that, YouTube just doesn't care about any channel that has less than 500,000 subs because they just don't think there's much advertising money there.
And his thing is that he thinks it's eventually going to sink Google altogether.
Well, it is, because they don't get the idea that if they don't give the small channels a chance to grow, they're not going to have any big channels.
Right.
Hey, Tony.
Oh, what do we have here?
Tony
Hi,
Design
Tommy,
came in.
sweetie. Oh, my. Man, I tell you, I love this top. It was on clearance at Squall Mart a few weeks ago. I should have bought 3 of them, but unfortunately, I only had $10 to spare. So
It looks good on you.
It's super
Okay.
cute.
it hides a multitude of sins.
I like tops like that.
About 80 of them, really.
Okay.
So this is the whole Cass Elliot look here, you know.
I'm all about comfortable.
I'm going to throw something in the side chat. I was hoping some of the Australians would be here to see this.
Well,
But BM Furball had a conversation with Sleeping Warrior and
Yeah,
asked him what he
Sleep-
would consider proof of a spherical Earth.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Hey, Faye.
Hi.
Hey,
So,
Howdy.
so, Sleeping Warrior has agreed to help the Emperor Bull set the parameters for an experiment that would convince him that the Earth is actually a sphere. But for it, they need some people in the southern hemisphere to do some star photography.
From what
So anybody who
photography?
can pass that to anyone living in the southern continent, please do.
Okay.
Hi, Maya.
So Faye, what's with you tonight?
Oh, okay. Well, I finally got to talk to my friend's wife called me, and even though he can't speak, I got to speak to him. So that was nice.
Yay.
And she was talking basically for him, but at least he heard me, which is great. Although I miss him to death. I
But
had a
he's recovering.
He's recovering. He's still six
Oh, that's
months out.
great.
He's still 6 months out, but he's still recovering. He's got a hole in his throat. Um,
Oh,
yeah, he's got because he can't breathe on his own. So they did a tracheotomy. So
Yeah.
I had a fight with a friend
Uh-oh.
last night,
I'm sorry.
and it's when I'm the type of person who has to talk something out right away, and I was so angry I couldn't even speak. So that happened. It was way
oof.
too hot today, which didn't help. And I look like I've been punched in the face because all around my eyes because of the lack of sleep and anger and stuff. I'm purple in the face.
Damn, girl.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Man,
I actually look like I'm bruised.
you need a vacation. Come on down here.
I do need a
Seriously.
vacation. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of being hot. I'm tired of being dehydrated. I'm tired of people picking fight. I didn't even do anything to deserve that, by the way. Someone picked a fight with me because they had a bad day. Well, I'm sorry, if you have a bad day and you feel like fighting with someone, fight with fight with an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah,
Fight
go,
with someone who freaking deserves it, you know? I
go find a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard to find a Trump supporter.
No joke.
Come on over here. There are plenty of them in this neighborhood. Damn it.
I'll
just-
loan you mine.
I'm just frustrated as
Yeah.
anything. And then
Sorry
I
you're
just
having to go through that.
and then I just spent the last, I don't know, hour dealing with
Doing what?
another friend who's mad at their computer.
Oh, that's never fun. Dang, honey, you just been through all the shit today. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's alright. At least I'm healthy, right? Other than being purple in the face.
And you apparently still got your sense of humor, so there's that, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. I go in and I talk to my therapist, and when I leave, she's laughing. Because when I complain about things, apparently I'm really funny.
Jesus. God damn it.
It's all in the timing, dear.
Must be. So how is everyone else? How's everyone?
Oh,
Not
you
going to be
did
too
me
great
to
for me
death.
this week, but I'll get through.
Why, what's wrong, hon?
Well, it's a pattern I've known for many years that the first week in September tends to be when I bottom out mentally and emotionally.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And in addition to that, I've got a couple extra, pressures, things I have to do for family during this time. So, I might not communicate too well, and I might tend to isolate a bit for the next week or two.
I get it.
It's good that you know yourself well enough to anticipate such things. That's admirable.
Yeah, it's been going on for so long that you'd think it's something I would have worked through by now, but I guess
Yeah,
it's
not
just something I gotta
necessarily.
deal with every year.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to go through stuff like that. It makes us
None
appreciate
of it's organic.
stuff a little more.
There's no woulda, shoulda, coulda when it comes to like
Yeah.
being yourself and being honest with your emotions.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
on that note, next week I won't be doing the regular chats Tuesday or Thursday because part of what I have to do is a turnaround to Chicago and back in the
Yeah.
middle of the week.
Oh, fun.
I say yuck, but I really like road trips.
I don't. I actually hate to drive, but
Aw, I would do
I'm
it for
basically
you.
I'm basically the only one who can take consecutive days off of work to do it.
Dang
I
it.
get it.
Yeah, my sister-in-law needs to get down there. Her mother's been in and out of the hospital, and she needs to arrange affairs for her down there. So anyway, enough about that.
Fair enough.
So how's everyone else?
I'm all right. Say, this is Jenny Morgan.
Oh, hi, hon. How are you?
Fine. I didn't. I thought you might not know who I was with the name I have on here today
I.
and my dog's picture. That's not me. It's not really.
I really couldn't
Aw.
make much out of the picture. It's just too
I'm
small
not
on my
nearly
screen.
as good looking as the dog.
No, don't say that. Don't be
What?
so.
Hey, listen. If the dog and I are together, people go to pet him. They don't pet me.
I don't want anybody petting me. Ooh,
I
no, put
do.
your hands to yourself. Stay out of my bubble. Just don't.
Exactly.
Not without permission.
Do you know what ticks me off though? I thought things were getting better. Like, ever since I think last November to about a month and a half ago, with the way everything was going, I was basically having like mini mental breakdowns constantly. I'd be okay enough to talk to people and then I wouldn't because people suck, and Twitter
Yep.
and YouTube drama and all this other stuff. And I would say, I would talk to Jenny or somebody and I'd be fine and then I'd drop off the face of the earth because I'm not fine anymore. Because I don't know what's going on. Everything was great. I've been working with Nadine, I've been working with Angie, I've been, talking to all of you. Everything's been great. And then someone who's usually not a source of drama, as I said last night, went, nah! And I'm not handling it well. I'll be honest, I'm just not.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to
It's
deal with
alright.
people. I don't know how to deal with people when they freak out. I don't. I just kind of like I'm too passive aggressive. I guess I just
Oh,
freak
no,
out
I
when
don't
it
think
comes to
you are.
confrontations.
I don't think you are. Well, then again, I haven't pissed you off enough to find out.
Well, if you watch my video today, you will know how to piss me off. The one that I put together.
I watched it. I don't think you're unreasonable at all.
I saw that video. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Well, I
I was
got
going to,
I
but
got
the time
accused
for
of
this
being
kind of
one of
crept
those
up on
people
me.
who fake and pretends to be happy all the time. And I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know whether I pretend to be happy or not. You only see me on, something like this. That's a micro fraction of my real life. So don't try to figure me out because don't.
Yeah, that is a problem, especially on platforms like this that, people see you for a couple hours a week and they think you're like that all the time.
Yeah, my husband would beg to differ with the fact that I'm happy and sweet and nice all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like I think it's really unfair for someone to assign a reality to another person. Like, example, Robin Williams, he made everyone laugh, but he was the most miserable person.
Yeah.
You know, he hated himself, he hated his life. I know a lot of people who are, you know, outwardly they're smiling. When you're smiling, people don't attack you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Normally.
Yep,
You know,
it's
I've heard
disarming.
that about so many stand-up comedians that they do it as a defense.
Yeah,
There's probably a lot of truth to that too.
it totally is. That they want to be like so much. They want to be entertaining and funny and everything and engaging, and they're suffering from severe depression. Rodney Dangerfield was another one who was basically falling apart, but brought a lot of joy to other people's lives. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, and I just think that's unfair to look at someone who's smiling. I mean, I worked at retail in retail for years and years and years, and
Me too.
I learned really fast if you're not smiling, a customer who's had a bad day will go to you and to totally rip you to shreds for anything.
Yep.
And that is why I could never do retail or customer service because I can't put on a face and fake a mood.
No, it's really not faking a mood. After a while, it's kind of like, don't hurt me. It's almost like a form of PTSD because I was behind the counter one time. I may have told this story before, but I was at my bookstore. Customer came in. He was really surly, and I was working with a sensitive person. And he comes up and he says, "Why are there hardcover books behind the counter?" And we had them all over the store, though. We had the same book all over the store. This Michael Crichton book had come out, and he was, why? And I said, oh, and I was like, I'll tell you a secret. And he's like, what? And I said, we keep them behind the counter here so that if a customer makes us upset, when they turn around and walk out the store, we can chuck them at the back of their head. I said it so seriously that my coworker dropped to the floor to hide the fact that he was trying not to laugh. He was biting his hand, like, you know, like thumb towards his mouth, like biting his hand, trying not to laugh. And I'm like, I'm totally serious. That's what we do. So if a customer is really rude or they ask a really stupid question, we get to attack them. It's fun and it's company policy too. And he was like, okay, great. And then he left, and I was just like, I want to throw a book at him so badly.
Uh-oh, we lost Doc. I think his phone died.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may have just walked out of coverage for a minute. He'll
I
probably
don't
be
know.
back.
Did you chuck a book at the back of his head?
And Maya's over in the chat saying she was a waitress and it was like acting. And I know what that's like because sometimes you do. You put on that face because you have to do your job. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Well,
when
I was just
but that's
typing to her
like
that,
it
yeah.
particularly pinched me when that person said, I think you're being fake. It's like, well no, I'm not. I have. I know how to, but I don't have to anymore. So why should I? I didn't like that about the business I was in. That's reason 423 why I got out of the beauty business
Oh
because I
yeah.
had to be fake sometimes because some of those people are so obnoxious. You just want to snatch them bald. You definitely don't want to make them look good.
What gets me is my I had my last apartment where I had a roommate. My roommate was someone I knew from college, and she came home. My sister was visiting. She was giving me a hard time, and suddenly my sister's like, we have to go now, we're gonna go for a walk, now. Yeah, I'm gonna grab and normally she's not like that, you know, she doesn't act that way at all, like, oh, we're gonna go now. And as soon as we got out of the apartment, she goes, are you okay? I said, what? She goes, you sound like Mary Poppins. That's usually when you're about to punch someone in the face. I went, oh, so like it's not like something I put on. It's an automatic. I'm gonna get really, really sweet. You know, if I'm yelling at you, you're safe. But if I'm
Yeah.
sweet, you're in deep doo doo. Apparently, I didn't know. I was told. I asked my mom, and she agreed. She's like, "Yeah, you get really nice right before you explode." Well, oh, great.
Yeah. If you're yelling and screaming, you're letting it out. They're probably pretty safe. I know when I get quiet, or if I get not so much sweet, but real quiet, and I start talking like this. You need to run right now.
Yeah.
That's when the children's eyes get really big and they're like, "We're out of here."
Uh, I
Well,
don't know what it is. Yeah.
yeah. No, I've never been able to do the social thing of putting on faces. Pretty much what you see is what you get.
Uh huh.
That's what I
And if
said.
I stop talking altogether and walk away, yeah, then I'm plotting revenge.
Yeah.
Mwah.
I
I
don't know
suck at
why,
revenge.
but everyone displays temper differently, and I do it with a smile.
I do not like displaying temper.
Well, see, generally, it's hard for people to get an emotional reaction of any sort out of me. I'm pretty much in public, I'm level all the time. And because I've had such problems, being autistic, I've had such problems with people reading me wrong. I've learned to just
Hello.
be flat in public. Hi, Doc, sorry. And, just let it out when I'm home alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, some months ago, I blew my stack at Look a Pig, and I was in tears for at least a day after that.
Oh, I haven't really talked to Look a Pig or engaged with that human ever since that one stream that scientist Mel did.
Okay.
That was awful.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the stream he was on with Mel.
She was doing a fundraiser for Bullinator, and his behavior during that was atrocious.
Mm.
And I was like, this is how he's behaving on her channel. Like, I forget what the details were, but basically he sort of was her assistant that day, and it went badly, like really badly. As someone did a kind of like a chemistry thing on their driveway,
Hmm.
basically set their driveway on fire, and he was trying to get them to kick it. And you don't want to encourage someone to get hurt or worse on live streams. What are you doing? Hating here.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what amazed me and amazed Cy at the same time, out in Kentucky, Cy and Pig came by to see or to be part of the protest. Pig actually apologized to me for what he had done to make me blow my stack at him some months earlier. And I was like, what? And Cy did he actually apologize to you unprompted? So I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. But I know part of it. But as far as the whole picture, I really don't know.
Eh,
Yeah. Outside of briefly meeting him at the protest, I don't really know anything about him.
Yeah, he's on the spectrum, and
Yeah, I could pick that up pretty easily.
I guess there's some ODD going on, the oppositional defiant disorder.
Ah,
Because that's what happened when I blew my stack at him. He was doing something that was pretty innocuous or something. I said something in effect, please cut it out. And then it just escalated from there. He was, it was, fuck you, Diana, go screw yourself and everything else. And I lost my temper at him. And I was assured that I was not in the wrong for that one. Oh, well. That was a while ago.
People all have their own little thing. I don't know much. I just know that there's only a certain amount of, I guess, nonsense I can deal with.
And well, I'm on a few shit lists, so I guess I'm not all sweetness and light myself. So
A shit list is a shit list, but that doesn't mean that you're in the wrong.
Yeah. My problem is a lot of times I offend people and I don't even know what I did to offend them.
That's me. It's like I piss people off and don't even realize it. They're just like gone all of a sudden. I'm like, shit.
And it's like most of the time if somebody will explain it to me, I'll apologize, but I honestly don't know what it is you took offense by.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
A lot of that has for me to do with the autism, that I don't read people, so it's like if it's with the body language or the facial expressions, it just went right past me and I kept talking.
Yeah, Tony, Math Pig and Wooka Pig are definitely two different people.
Yeah, Math Pig looks like he's getting his channel set up. He's posted some introduction video, which was actually pretty good. So if anybody's not subbed to him, you should probably go over there and check out his channel.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. I can get a link here for you in a moment to the introduction video.
I cannot remember whether or not I subbed to Math Pig. I'll find out, I hope.
Okay, well, here's the link for the... I'm dropping the link in the side chat for the introduction video he put up this week.
No, I don't know what I just said.
We know you don't know what you just said.
I never know what I'm talking about.
We know.
And nowhere is that more evident than on Coffee with Lavender.
But it's so much fun.
But Diana, at least with you, when you're not making sense, it's obvious.
Okay.
At least we know you're not trying to speak English. As opposed to a lot of these people I watch, that's like, I recognize the individual words, but there are no coherent sentences there.
Well,
Together.
if that's ever me, let me know.
Oh, man.
No, mostly that's like the flat earthers and the conspiracy nuts.
You should have been around and watching a couple of times when I had a medication adjustment. I was, you know how they describe the side effect of some medications being confusion? That was, ooh boy, you might have been on channel at that point, Faye. I'm not sure.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm basically coherent and all no sense at all, and I'm not even trying to do it.
Yeah.
Well, at least you were aware of it. That's why I had a prescription for the Ambien for a while, and they took me off that after just a couple of weeks because my fiance was reporting that I was starting fights at night and I didn't remember them the next morning. So it's like I had a memory gap, not only from when I actually took the pill, but it would erase everything I did for like 2 hours before I took it.
Ooh.
Yikes.
So I'd
Oh,
have like a 3 to
boy.
4 hour memory gap that I had no idea what I was doing, and she said I was being uncharacteristically hostile.
I've heard a
Oh
lot of
dear.
scary stories about that stuff.
Okay, so I'm looking at the video to which you linked, and yeah, I was not subbed to Math Pig. I am now.
Okay. I didn't even notice when I was in there how many subs he has at this point.
I was number 91.
Oh, so he's pushing 100 pretty quick there. That first 100's the hardest, and then you can get the custom URL, so it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that 100 was pretty hard. The next 100 wasn't that bad. Getting to 300 took a while, and getting to 400 is whoa. What'll happen to me is I'll gain a sub, and a couple of days later I'll lose one, and this keeps going on and on. So right now I'm going like 270. I'm sorry, 372, 373, 372, 373. So we'll see if we can break through that.
Hopefully.
I'm never gonna get to 100, so
Oh, you
Oh,
will.
I've been doing this 3 months now, and I'm still only at like 52.
let me have a look and
Yeah,
see how long.
Angie, the first video I posted was a Christmas special,
Yeah.
and I did not reach 100 subs until April.
Well, all the people who are subscribed to me don't even all watch the videos because, like, don't have anything.
And that actually, that's typical on any channel. If you look, the sub to view ratio, if you're getting more than 25-30%, you're doing
Yeah.
really good.
It's
Okay.
true.
I'm doing all right then.
Yeah,
Nope.
so don't expect to even see a third the number of views as you get subs.
My stuff's kind of boring. So I can admit to that.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not inflammatory, so I don't get the attention.
Well, that's the other thing. If you're not controversial, you're not going to get as
Yeah.
many people shouting you out on Twitter and that.
I know, but tell me, don't y'all get tired of controversial all the time? Doesn't everybody need a little break from?
Well, that's why I don't do that kind of stuff. But, you know,
That's
I
what
like your Ask Grandma pieces. I think those are good.
Yeah.
I got my channel started in earnest, say about March or April of 2018. I had 100 in June.
See, I'm just getting ahead of myself. Then I'll calm down.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors involved, but it's generally, you know, a pretty slow grind in the beginning.
And I was just sure that cow video was gonna go viral. It was funny.
Aww. I love the
I
cow
know.
video.
Stupid.
Well, getting on a couple of interview programs helps. Neil interviewed you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that helped. And
You know,
Faith
that's
interviewed
generally
twice
where you'll
now.
get some good bump ups from those.
Yeah, I got Angie first though.
Yep. Faith
Mhm.
interviewed twice now. Still hadn't put me through the Inquisition yet. I'm ready for that. I'm waiting for that.
I have to get on it to do that. I really do. We really have to do that. And there's a few people I really want to have on, but I just haven't been able to.
She's afraid to have me on
No.
Ooh,
because I'm too tough.
sounds like a challenge.
People I'd really love to have on, but I need my ducks in a row before I even try.
Well, Faye and I keep missing. We've scheduled like 5 dates, and every time one or the other of us has been sick.
Right, it's true. It's been going on for months too. It's like I'm all set up and y- we just end up not, or
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sick
I
of
know
the
what
dog,
it's like. One
or
time my allergies were so bad that it's like, yeah, I couldn't talk to the point that anyone would understand me.
I don't get that till later
It'll
in.
happen sooner or later.
when it
Oh,
does, we'll break the internet. I promise you.
Well, I think I was saying before you came in that I may wind up having to start a new channel, so then
Why?
I'll really need help with getting my subs back.
Why?
You've got all the help I can give you.
Just there's a couple of weird things about my YouTube account that don't work right, and I've had a couple of people
Oh,
look
yeah.
at it and nobody can figure it out. So I'm thinking at this point my only choice might be to delete the channel and start over.
Well, just
Yeah.
make a final, I'm switching channels video, leave
Yeah,
it up, and put lots of direct links.
yeah, I
Make it
definitely
make it
will. I
simple for
just
your
Don't forget
subs.
to download everything and put it back up on the new channel.
Yeah, I'm not a tech savant, and I had trouble with it. And the only reason why I can do it is because I have it memorized. And when I looked at your thing, it was just like, what the in the world is going on?
well,
It's like
it's
the
like,
program doesn't work well for you.
yeah, like as far as the OBS thing, like Nacha and Nadine have both looked at it and neither of them could figure it out.
I had
Yeah,
trouble just getting it to recognize your YouTube account.
Some rather tech savvy people take a look at it and nobody can really come up with a good explanation. And YouTube does not have any customer support for small channels, so
No.
I can't get
yeah,
any
that's
answers
the
out of
pain in
them.
the arse. Is you can't talk to a human there, and you can't get any questions answered and anything else, and it's almost to the point where you begin to wonder whether it's worthwhile to do anything with YouTube. But then again, that's the only place anybody goes to look at streaming, videos. So you're basically forced there.
Oh, hey, Math Pig, we were just talking about you. I just posted the link to your intro video a little while ago.
I just stuck to your channel. All that.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to figure out is,
And we lost Doc again, huh?
oh, what? I want to figure out how to get my avatar on this thing if I don't have my camera turned on.
Actually, I think in the Streamlabs, if you go down on the toolbar on the bottom, and if you hit the thing to stop the camera, I think it will ask you about if you want an avatar image.
Oh, okay. Let me try that and see what happens.
I think that's how it'll work. I'm not certain.
Stop cam.
Yeah.
Okay, I hit stop cam and it just stopped my camera.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
It
don't
doesn't.
think there is an option for.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh,
Yeah.
oh! I think I see something.
There's a little landscape picture underneath the little square.
I just found it. Yep.
Yeah,
Well, that's a surprise.
it's a new feature they just added like a week or two ago.
Oh, no wonder. Because when I talked to Nadine about it, she was like, "You're out of luck." And I went, "Great."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and when I first started using Streamlab, I talked to their customer support about it, and I said to them that I thought that that was going to be, a major holdback from a lot of people on YouTube using it.
Oh,
And
good.
I talked to
Maybe
them
they
like a week
listened.
ago when they said that avatars would now be available.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it does say it's a beta version, so they are working on it, and apparently, you can actually talk to somebody through through their Facebook chat. So apparently, they are actually taking notes on suggestions people are making.
It works. Yay.
Oh, yep, there's Angie.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, Purple, I really liked your responses to my questions last night on Twitter. The
Well, I was just
relationship
glad that I
questions.
caught those. That's what I've always liked about you when you were posting the list of questions.
Oh man, I missed this.
Oh yeah, I posted a series of relationship questions and I got some really great answers.
Today?
Oh man, I've got to
Yeah.
look that. I've got to look for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look for that.
Okay. Yeah, Diana, you're still not showing your avatar.
No, I'm not because I'm in the midst of editing the avatar, and
Oh,
what
okay.
I have to do is go to
Go,
one of
man.
my external drives here and get my avatar because I'm not on the machine that has it. One of those deals.
Yeah, Doc had to let his phone cool off. We don't want you blowing up, Doc. That's good.
Yeah, he had said he's having problems with that. He was doing it on his phone, and apparently, with Streamlabs running, his phone was using power faster than it was charging.
Yeah. Okay, if I put it on that machine, it'll work better.
Yeah. And Jen, I would not worry about your mouth. It's not like I have any illusions of ever being monetized.
Oh no, I never say bad fucking words in public. It's just goddamn it, the wrong thing to do.
Well, also we've been running like nearly an hour, and I keep hearing people say that the YouTube only scans like the first 17 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you keep it clean for 17 minutes, you can swear all you want after that, and it won't pick up on it.
Really?
Yep.
I've had several
Does that
people tell me
include
that.
C bombs?
What was that, Faye?
Does that include C bombs?
Does that include like copyright strikes if I start jamming out or something?
Well, basically, the copyright strikes only come up if somebody reports you. But as far as the swearing goes, apparently it just looks at the first 17 minutes and doesn't bother to scan the rest of it. So anything you say after 18 minutes into the video doesn't matter what kind of language you use.
Well,
now,
I won't
Matt
drop
Big
a
says
C
it's
bomb
an
though.
atheist edge myth. Is that true?
Maya Atkinson says it best. There are lots of children on PlayTube, on YouTube,
Oh yeah.
in quotes, children. Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Doc, if you want to cool down your phone, you could go put it in the fridge.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm actually not kidding.
No, I'm not either. I've done that. Oh,
Or at least you set it
man.
resting on something in front of a fan.
Oh, come here.
So, let me see.
Puppies.
There we are.
We could play some Q&A right now if you guys want to.
Oh, let's play Q&A.
I'm game.
That would be moo.
What about well, it's Purple's channel, so are you up for it, Purple?
Oh, well, I'm fine for it, but the one time I wound up in here all alone, it seemed nobody had any questions for me. So that became kind of awkward.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Purple. What is your shoe size?
Well, now see, that depends which brand of shoe you're talking about.
Aww.
I've seen it be anything from an 8 to a 10.5.
Okay, we got an answer.
There you go.
Okay, what size Trojans do you have to buy?
Well, okay, condoms come in 3 sizes. Small,
No, I
regular, and
don't.
liar.
What? Small what?
Small, regular, and liar.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. There we go. How do you like that? Yeah,
That's great. I like that.
I like that. I thought it was small, regular, and wishful thinking.
Although I haven't had the need to buy any in about 10 years now, so.
So,
I've been out of the loop
if
for
y'all
10
want to
years.
take turns answering the questions, What is your ideal first date? If you're going on a date with someone,
Oh, I
what
did
would
see
you
that
like?
one today.
Getting fucked till my ears bleed. Oh, you
All
mean
right,
before
that's
that part?
fun.
Oh,
Okay, well that's new. That's definitely new. I'm
No,
sure
soothing
that
and
would be
you
foreplay.
saw that.
Now, see, I've tended to do things backwards. That basically all of my significant relationships started out with hooking up for sex, and we got to know each other afterward.
uh
I just can't do it that way.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was like, I've never actually been on a proper date, I don't think.
Well, my fiance was the one exception to that because we met online while we were living 1,000 miles apart. So
Oh, wow.
we actually had to talk for 3 months before we got to meet.
If I had to wish for a perfect date, I would like to go somewhere where I can eat. Where I can eat and order whatever I want and nobody says anything about the price of it. That's what I would like to do.
that
Feed me
would
and
be
I'm all
nice.
yours.
I'm trying to think here. Okay, the perfect first date would involve at the very least a talk by somebody of the caliber of, let's say, Neil deGrasse Tyson, or let's see, yeah, I could listen to a talk by Richard Dawkins, no problem there. Um, I guess some food before or after might not be a bad idea, and a lot of conversation afterward. And I mean conversation. I don't mean conversation. I mean conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We'll worry about the sex if we find out we're compatible, okay? I'm not at all like I was 40 years ago.
Okay.
Well, see,
Uh,
for me, there isn't really
Pig.
any. What's that, Angie?
That pig is leaving.
Ah,
good
okay,
night,
night math
pig.
pig. For me, there isn't really any real direct connection between the sex and the romance. I can have either one independently. It's nice if you can get both together, but not required.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It's
In
Oh,
not
all in
nice
in
if
all
you could
honesty,
get
I'd be
both,
happy.
but
I'd be happy just to snuggle on the couch.
I
Yeah.
know that feeling.
Well, and that's to me like cuddling on the couch watching a movie is actually more intimate than sex.
Yeah.
can be.
Can be. Absolutely.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
here's another question, and you can all take a turn. What are your new relationship deal breakers?
Re- Republicanism.
Oh, wow.
That's a good one.
You think you're hooking up with someone who's really great, and then crash. That red
What? You want
flag
a
that
serious
says,
relationship? That's a deal breaker.
Are we talking about first impression type things?
yeah, you haven't met them yet. You're
Oh,
on your way to dating, and then this thing gets in the way.
Yeah, or
What would
something mentioned on a first date that just puts it to a halt right there.
hmm.
So, wait a minute. You've
I
been
I
talking?
honestly could not imagine myself dating somebody from the right wing. I just can't see it. I'm
Same
not.
here.
I'm just not interested in.
I had one person respond that um someone who's really really quiet, they don't want to date them.
So that leaves you out, right?
Well, I
Yeah.
could see that would be difficult if you felt you had to carry the whole conversation and they didn't add anything. But I wouldn't consider that a deal breaker.
Oh, I'm trying to think. The only kind of things I would come up with as deal breakers would be if they said something racist or overtly sexist or, or just generally an ass. I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that. What would be a deal breaker? Because religion wouldn't be a deal breaker because I don't care what you believe, as long as you ain't shoving it down my throat, right?
Right.
Well, you know,
I'm
when I met my
already
fiance,
married to a Republican, so I can't help that. In his defense, I was one too when we met. I'm not anymore. Haven't been for a long time, but I don't know. I can't think of a deal breaker other than like overtly racist or something.
No, no,
They
yeah,
drop
what
the
I'm
F, they drop the N bomb or something. We're done.
Or a bad driver.
Yeah, bad driver.
I'm
No,
trying to
well,
think. Is
getting me killed on the first date would be a deal breaker.
bad driver
I
would be a deal breaker because I married one of those too. So.
I'd never find out if they were a bad driver because I wouldn't let them drive.
See,
Or I'm driving.
some of my friends in college, they had we all had agreements. Like, if you go out to, say, a diner or a restaurant, and whoever you're there with is rude to the waitress, never see them again.
Okay.
Because eventually he will treat you like the waitress. You know what I mean? Like, if someone is rude to
Oh
someone
yeah.
in a service
Yeah.
I think
job,
you and I talked about that at one point, didn't we, Faye?
I think so, a long time ago.
Many moons
Offline,
ago.
though.
I can certainly see the logic there.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm trying to figure out here is this a case of you've just met, or you've been talking for a while, but you're not taking the next step yet? Is where is this in the?
It's either pre-date or around the first date. Like,
Okay,
what are the signs that someone might give you that give you the, like, oh no, I don't want to be with this person?
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind, and it's a very, very important thing with me, is if her IQ is below room temperature. Problem. It's a big, big problem.
Well, that's
Um,
why I'd said on the Twitter response was if they can't carry on an intellectual conversation.
Yeah, that's a real turn off.
that's
Doc is asking, would making them help you hide the body be a deal breaker? I'm a little concerned that he's phrasing this as a
Ah,
question and not a statement.
I think that's a opening question. That next line will be, will you please help me hide the body?
Did you see what Pirate Kitty says? Don't judge people by how they treat their peers. Judge them by how they treat their subordinates.
Exactly.
bingo.
Good
Yep.
advice. Very good advice.
And
Granny's
Pirate
not
Kitty,
steal that one.
I have this one particular question for you. Is your handle anyway part of the fandom for the Vancouver vet who has Mr. Pirate as a kitty?
Oh, I hadn't heard about that.
I don't know what that is either.
The Vancouver vet is someone on YouTube, and he has a cat called Mr. Pirate. And Mr. Pirate is adorable, and I love him so much. So, yeah,
Yeah, I've only been
I watch
encountering Pirate
cat
Kitty the
videos.
last.
I watch vet videos. I watch
Yeah.
critters. When I feel like my brain is melting from stress, misery, and upset, I watch animals.
That's good therapy.
Do you go to
Oh,
those?
okay.
Do you go to those kitten channels? You know, with
Yeah.
the people who foster the kittens, and they've got the cameras trained on them all the time.
No, but I do watch Owl Kitty.
Who?
Owl Kitty.
Owl Kitty.
Uh
Doesn't
huh.
sound familiar. Let me.
Oh my goodness.
You have to go watch Al Kitty.
Owl Kitty is
Yeah.
wonderful. But okay. Here's another
I
question.
don't
You
know
can't
that
think
one
of a
either, but
deal
around
breaker.
here. Sorry. Go ahead, Faye.
Oh no, it's just you know, uh, some people have all different types of deal breakers. The ones that I think that are unfair is if someone sleeps with you immediately and then you judge them for it. Like, oh, I don't like that. It's like, well, you slept with them on the first date too. What does it say about you, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sleeping with them on the first date, if it doesn't work out, it just means that, you have to explain to them better what you like.
That's auditions, man.
Exactly. Oh, I like Pirate Kitty. Pirate Kitty, I consider you good peeps.
My problem in that area, the big, it's been so long since I've had sex with anyone that the last time I did, I was still trying to do the boy thing. So I don't know what I would like at this point.
That's a damn
You
shame.
know that never occurred to me for someone in transition.
Hmm.
What? Be specific. Oh.
Well, just how that changes,
Are you okay,
your
Jen?
reception to sex between when you were male and when you were female.
Well, would I can only speak for myself, of course, but preoperatively and all that kind of stuff, you're ready to do it any time. I mean, that's just what boys can do. Um, it was also, I guess, the willingness to do it any time. Now, yeah, I'd love to have sex with somebody, but I'm not really going to go do it just to do it. They have to mean something to me.
Yes. Amen, sister.
It's just, no, it's too private. It's too personal. It just means too much to me now. Of course, that attitude has kept me dry for 40 years, but hey.
Way too long, honey. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
Well, honestly, for me, I'm much more likely to form any kind of emotional bond with a woman. Men, it's usually just sex, and it's just because men are easy. Can pretty much rely on you can get it anytime you ask for it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well,
And I guess I just haven't met the right person yet. I've met the right person for me, but meeting the right person means that they're interested in you as much as you are in them. So
I'm not
It helps.
going to say a word. I'm not going to say a word. Not a single syllable.
I fall in love frequently. I'm right now. I am absolutely madly in love with somebody I met recently,
aww.
and I know it'll never. I know it'll never come to fruition. But
Oh,
it's what happens.
that sucks. Oh, gee, man.
Yeah, Christopus non est condom, and this is can be unfortunate.
It's the life. It's the life I chose. One thing that rattles around in my head before I changed over, and my father was in process of kicking me out of the family. He said, "You're going to have a very, very lonely life." To which I responded to him, "You don't know that, and it's just not true." Well, the son of a bitch was right.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry it's turned out that way for
I'm
you.
sure I'm not the only person in the community who's like that. I think transgender people probably, as a group, have a much lower coupling rate than the general public by far. I
That
would
is.
I would bet it's 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as bad as the general public,
Yeah, well, there are many.
or the gay and lesbian public too, for that matter.
There are many things that get in the way that don't get in the way of the cisgendered folk.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, I don't know a single lesbian who will date me simply because of the condition of my hardware.
Well, and I have the same experience, and I supposedly have the correct hardware. So I think it has a lot to do just with the fact that you're trans. People say they're supportive, and they are, and they're your friends and associates and all that good stuff. But it stops when it comes to sex. It stops when it comes to a monogamous relationship.
I just don't understand that. That doesn't make any
Well,
sense to me because I'm sorry. That's just terrible. That's terrible. I can't imagine judging somebody that way. Like,
Yeah. I I can see where it would probably be very common. It's not right, but I can see why a lot of people would have more difficulty with someone who's trans. But again, I think that's more has to do with social attitudes, things that people are taught.
well, yeah, we're still an extremely prudish society around here. We've got all this abstinence and what's normal bullshit that people just can't seem to let go of, and it bugs the crap out of me. There should be there should be a lot less rules to this kind of thing. Like, you hear people talk about, well, you can't help who you love. Well, of course you can't help who you love, but you can help how you treat them, how you treat other people. God dang, I'm really sorry, Jen. That breaks my heart that
It really
you
does.
feel isolated like that, and that's happened to you. That really, irritates me about the human race. People are so judgmental and so quick to just be shallow about stuff. Just pisses me off. I
Yeah.
should have put that in my video today too. That pisses me off.
well, again, if it was just about sex, I'm sure I would have been able to have as many partners as I wanted to over this
No, I'm
stretch of
not
time.
about sex.
I mean, because well, they used to call them back in the '60s as a fag hags. Um,
Uh-huh.
or who are guys that like to hang out with gay people because it was a turn on,
Yeah.
and they would want to have sex with them, although they never admit themselves that they were gay. Um,
That's my second
there's
husband.
there's definitely a group of men who are tranny chasers who are interested in having sex with a transsexual because it's a turn on to them for whatever reason.
Yeah,
And
there's
I
the damn
am
thing.
not interested in that person at all.
Yeah.
I've been pursued by a number of chasers, and I don't want to be anyone's warm sex toy. Okay, it's that simple.
Yeah, well, if you're looking for a relationship, you don't want to be with someone who just considers you a
Exactly.
fetish.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking for
Yeah,
sex. I'm
you
looking
don't want
for a
to be
relationship.
a conquest like that or a token, trophy, whatever you want to call it. That's ridiculous. No,
And I
no,
certainly don't want to be someone's experiment.
no.
Uh, yeah, I think the experiment thing probably would hurt, but as a cis female, I have been treated like a warm sock out of a dryer, so, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of typical.
Well, I've been there too, and as long as both people agree that's what it is before you start, it's okay. The problem is if one person is thinking that's going to be something more than the other person is.
And that's
Right.
their fault if they didn't find out first.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a whole song and dance where, they lied to you.
Well, yeah, that's true. People certainly can just lie.
Well, and that's the real problem is the ones that will try to deceive you or lead you on. Iseem Works left a nice comment in the side chat there. This community makes me feel like no one is alone, so don't stop doing what you do.
Awesome. That's so true.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
where do we have?
I've had an argument with someone. Maybe if I can farm you guys for opinions. This person says that they're better talking face to face, blah blah blah, and their online friendships they don't really consider to be real friendships, but yet they are real friendships, but they're not real friendships, and it's kind of like online friendships to them take a back seat, or they're in a different category altogether in this person's head, and I find myself resenting that a bit because I am an online friend person. I'm better with people online than I am in real life because online, if I get overwhelmed, I can walk away from it and, be ugly. Be like, "Oh, what are you until I figure it out."
Well, okay, now this is. Um, I consider online friendships to be friendships. Absolutely, there
Right.
is though, or there can be an element or dimension or whatever you want to call it that can be missing without the personal contact face to face in the same room, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's something I deal with a good deal. I mean, all of my friends are online. Um, I have no one who will come and have a cup of coffee with me at the table. And you don't want to know how many times I think you get the point.
Well, you did have someone drive all the way to see you and take you to the Ark Encounter.
And that was absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Um, it's the kind of thing, well, not necessarily driving 900 miles to see me, but it's the kind of thing I'd like to see more often. Not necessarily asking someone to drive 900 miles to see me because that puts them out a little bit, but you know how it goes.
Mhm. But that's still rather special.
Yes, absolutely, it are. Thank you,
I'm
my
just
dear. Thank you, Midget Ripple.
kind of reminding you because I know sometimes it's like, well, the holidays are coming and sometimes isolation can feel a lot stronger.
I detest the holidays.
I do too.
Same.
Loathe Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for me, the holidays are really mostly about a long period of stress.
Yeah.
There are, a very few short bits of it. I do observe the winter solstice with a private ritual,
Same here.
but that's about it. And it's
That's
like
nice.
it's something that I would invite friends to join me in if I had any living close by. But
Like,
most of the holiday for me is like a constant stream of family obligations that I would rather not attend.
Yeah, I don't attend them anymore. I just don't want to put myself through it. I love my family. I just don't want to.
me too.
I
My
just
main
don't.
problem is I know my family loves me, but they have no concept of what's important to me. And I think they're still viewing me as the person I was in my 20s and don't realize that I've grown beyond that.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. I think the last Thanksgiving I went to, my cousin turned around to me and said, "You're going to have to learn how to cook so when you get married you can do this."
Okay.
Not realizing that I cooked 90% of that dinner
Wow.
and that I had been making all his Thanksgiving sides since I was 7. And I, I didn't say anything because, if you say anything, you ruin everyone else's experience, and you're told that you're not allowed to do that. But that was it. That was it. It's like,
Oh, I actually
really?
prefer
I'm
my
going to have to
own.
learn how to cook a Thanksgiving dinner so that I can get married. Ew.
No,
I
don't do it. Don't
don't
do it.
think so.
I have to say, I actually prefer my online friends. I don't really, I don't really like the people that I live around very much. The town that I live in is extremely red, and I'm not. So I prefer hanging out with y'all
Thank
Yay!
you.
all day, every day if I could get away with it. I was sitting on the bed earlier today going, that's why I made that stupid video. I was so bored, like, man, nobody's on, there's nobody to talk to. Where is everybody? It's so
Yeah.
quiet.
I'm sorry to say it, but the people around here in this neighborhood are extremely stupid.
That's
I
the
can't
same
stand to
thing
be around.
here. This town, I have said several times that I have better conversations with my cats than I do with any of my neighbors.
Uh-huh.
If it wasn't for the internet, I would have no intellectual conversation at all.
If I didn't have these kids, I would never be home. I would be gone doing something, gone all day, every day, doing stuff. So I don't like to just sit at home. So now that they're at school, I'm stuck here. Y'all are stuck with me and my bored ass.
Aww.
And that's the really amazing thing. I'll thank you again, Purple. Uh, those 300-mile conversations. It was amazing from leaving the parking lot here to getting down to Kentucky. We never shut up. There was always some sort of part of a conversation going on.
Yeah, actually, what surprised me about that I didn't even realize until I got home was that the entire time I had never turned the music on.
Yeah, you had.
I don't think I've ever been in a car with anyone for that long without, putting the music on because we didn't have anything else to talk about.
That's awesome.
And we did
That
not
That,
even
is
have to,
awesome.
we did not
yeah,
have to look hard for anything to talk about. It just kept coming.
that's awesome. It's so special. I feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Oh man, Pirate Kitty, you've got to come to the next Oak Park protest. You really do. Um, may I ask what part of the world you're in to have an idea of what you would have to go through to get there?
Well, they said something about Los Angeles animal shelters. So,
Okay, so it's a little bit of a drive or a fly or whatever you do, but it's worth it. It really is. Um, yeah, you definitely have to make it.
see, I couldn't do that. I couldn't I couldn't do that. Like they
Well, it
talk
sounds
about
like
the
for
faithless
Pirate Kitty, the
forum.
Faithless Forum would actually be easier to get to.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. I just couldn't.
If I had that freedom, I would just jump in my car and I'd come visit all of you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see Lavender Lady this week, and next week I'm gonna go visit her. And then I'm gonna go see Faye. I'm gonna go to Canada and see
See, I
Nadine and
You know,
Neil.
if I had the money to buy an RV, that's what I would do at this point. That I wouldn't bother to have a home anymore. I'd just drive from state to state to see different people and look at all the museums.
Oh
Um,
man, wait a minute. Who was it that did that as a weekly part of television news? Was that Charles Kuralt
I
who
don't
went
remember.
back and forth in the U.S. in an RV?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to. I don't remember that.
Oh man, I have to see if I can get the right keywords.
yeah, I would just pick up my haircutting supplies, and I would cut hair on the street corner and make money to get to the next town.
See,
I try not to get
if I
busted.
had a vehicle I could sleep in, that would be great. But the for me, the idea of travel is the only thing I can think of are things like hotel rooms with bed bugs and
Mhm.
etc., and I get all freaked out and I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what
you
I
don't
mean. I'd have to be able to buy like some kind of a big van.
you
Yeah,
don't want to be in a you don't want to be in a Trump resort then, right?
oh,
What
ew,
is this?
ew, ew. No, 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 no,
That
no,
is
no.
so small, I cannot see it.
Yeah, that's
That's what
Pirate
she
Kitty
said.
just tried to send this thing to everybody on Twitter. I was hoping it would show up so we could read it, but I guess it's not going to be large enough.
Well,
It's
Jack
kind
Kerouac,
of
Tony, was a different instance of the same sort of phenomenon. But yeah, I get where you're coming from there. Oh my God, the Magic Bus. Yeah.
Okay, if I can just, I'll try to read this thing that Pirate Kitty just sent. Um, Anyone who says just internet friends is a functioning douche. Okay, my internet friends have wiped the tears a dozen more times than my real life friends. This is so goddamn relevant. I could not reblog it before going on to sleep. I tell you guys things I would never tell my real friends because they would just tell me to go wise up or get a grip.
Thank you.
that is so true. That's fact right there.
Yeah, because this person that I'm talking about, basically, you spend all your time talking to them, etc., helping them, or at least you think you're helping them, and then they turn around and say, well, we have a good relationship. It's not a real one, but it's good.
If it
Thanks.
wasn't for internet friends, I wouldn't have anybody. I would literally go for 5, 6 months at a time without talking to anyone I'm not related to.
Exactly, me too.
Oh my, Tony, that's it.
Same.
On the road. That is it.
What?
What?
The CBS segment of
Oh, okay. Tony
Oh
knew?
yeah.
Tony mentioned it. Yeah, right after the Jack Kerouac, which I do know about that whole Magic Bus thing. Um, yeah, right now it seems to be on the road with Steve Hartman, but if I remember correctly, this started years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago with Charles Perrault.
See, the
Okay.
last time I watched regular television programming,
Yep,
um,
there it is.
uh, uh this will give you a perspective of how long it's been since I've watched a regular TV show. It was Grizzly Adams.
I've been
Oh,
a
I
while.
used to love that show.
He's dead.
I love this show. Jeez, man, that was a long time
The
ago.
the last time I watched regular television programming, it was Grizzly Adams. So that yeah.
God,
It was a good show.
I
It
know.
was, especially for its time.
But really, has it really? Surely you're exaggerating. And it's been that long since you watched TV.
No. I
that
mean I will watch cartoons online, but
is
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. I don't like TV very much, but I can't say
I'm
it's.
not a fan of television either.
Oh, so Pirate Kitty did get to the Faithless Forum.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh my.
See, I can't do something like that. I won't have that bonding experience cuz I can't travel without like sitting there going, "Will I get bed bugs from this?"
Hmm.
Paranoia, they destroy ya.
Yeah, I don't worry about that too much because I do 2 gaming conventions a year, one in October and one in February.
I this is how bad I am about sleeping in my own bed. I was watching my sister's cat for a week, and it's a 2 hour drive there and a 2 hour drive back. And I did that every day for 2 weeks
Gee Louise.
because I wanted my own bed.
Hmm.
I do love my own bed, but I can sleep in the car. So I pull over the side of the road, kick the seat back, and I'm gone. So
I'm also paranoid about my cat, though.
yeah, that's the other reason I don't go anywhere. I got too damn many critters to take care of.
That's my biggest problem is I worry about my kitty being alone too much.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, when I do go for a couple of days, my brother and his wife will come and check on him. But you know, I feel bad enough when I'm here that he's trapped in this apartment all the time.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I got a look from Sylvia when I got back here after the art park protest. And I was like, "Where were you, asshole?"
Let me guess. Sylvia looked at you with that look that says, "You're gonna shit Chicky until I'm happy again."
Well,
Yeah,
we
she
brought
had
Sylvia a
nothing
whole
to say
box
to
of
me.
presents.
Yeah, yeah, she had nothing to say to me for a while until she decided she was over it.
Yeah, my cat looks at me like, "You're gonna shit treats until I am happy with you again. Do you understand me?"
Oh yeah.
Yes, madam. Yes, mistress, I'll do what you say.
Yeah, now see,
Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
Sammy's son is just the opposite. I think he's Canadian because he's like always
Oh.
apologizing, even though he never gets in any trouble.
Oh.
So it's like as soon as I got home, he was just like, "Oh, you're here." As soon as I got in my chair so he could lay against my leg, he was sleeping on my knee again.
Oh, baby.
Well, you
Okay.
definitely know that he's Canadian if the top half of his head comes off the bottom half
Yeah,
every time he meows.
never quite seen that happen, but yeah.
Well, that explains some things if cats can be like that. Because when I went to college, I came back the first weekend, and my cat looked at me. Hi, and he just looked at me. And then about 10 minutes later, you know how people point at their eyes and then point at you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had that kind of moment with my cat. He made sure I was making eye contact with him when he shit on my travel duffel.
Oh.
As if to say, "This is what I think of you, and you're going away, and just
Yep.
what I am a Play-Doh machine for you. You just yeah, and if he had the hands that could do that finger sign of pointing at his eyes and pointing at me, he would have freaking done it. I know it because he was mad at me, and he did that every single time I came home. It's like, oh
Yep.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
He wouldn't pee or crap on my stuff if I was looking away. No, he wanted to make sure that there was that personal eye contact. Like, yeah, you left for too long, and this is what I think of you, and that's what I got every single time. And I'm talking to my grandmother. What the? And she's like, "Oh well, you know, he's emotional." When I moved out, she said, "I don't think it was my cat." By the way, she stole my cat. She
Oh.
stole my freaking cat. I was getting ready to move out and blah 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 blah. She comes up to me and says, even though I had basically raised him for her, she says to me, "Oh, you're going to leave Morgan behind, right?" I was like, I I really hadn't thought about it. I thought I was gonna take him. And she goes, "Well, I don't think you're able to take care of a cat right now." Which was her way of saying, "Please don't take the cat." So
Yeah.
I left the cat.
Oh.
Well, it was kind of like, you know,
At least you can go and visit the cat, right?
oh no, from that point on, I mean, he had 4 years ago, he had just basically disowned me and said, "This is what I think of you." Every time I came home, he shit on my stuff, and I was still gonna take him with me. But my grandmother was like, "No, I really don't think you should." It's like, oh, you've bonded, have you? You've bonded with my cat after you made me go to college. Okay. And after that, he was hers. But yeah, she stole my cat.
Yes,
we're
and
very passive aggressive,
I see
or at least
ears.
Grandma was.
I see ears over there on Angie's frame.
Yeah, that's my little rude dude. He's all crashed out sleeping.
Aww.
He's my little boy.
Would you ever be in a relationship with someone who didn't like animals?
Nope.
No, I don't think I could do it.
No, I couldn't
Not if I knew
imagine.
about it beforehand.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine living anywhere without having a couple of furries in the house.
My husband told me a couple of times if I got another dog, he'd divorce me, but that never happened, and I keep getting dogs, so he's full of shit. He likes dogs. He's just not overly affectionate in any way.
Well,
So,
Bub, if you wanted to come in and join us for a while, there's room for one more person here.
come on in. Baby, take your coat off.
Come on in, Bob. You can talk dirty to us.
Load off. Come on in. Groove me right on.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Okay, sweetie. Jen is very sweet.
Yes.
Moo.
Not very well, but we've been in a couple of these together now, and I very much enjoy her company.
Oh yeah. Very sweet. Very sweet individual.
Yeah.
I have met so many people that I would have never ever encountered had I not branched out into the Twitterverse and the YouTube verse and that kind of thing. So I'm super grateful for all of you.
You can
Well,
blame it on
Bub
the
wanted to
atheist
share a picture of his
experience.
kitty.
Jack!
I
Hi,
guess I should have
Jack.
rotated that 90 degrees here, huh?
It's so cute. My goodness, he's getting big. He's growing quick.
Gonna
There we
be a
go.
monster. I love it. I love a proper sized cat.
It's so cute.
Yeah, well, I consider Sammyson to be about average size. He's like 8 to 10 pounds. Sloth Girl's cat Petunia is like twice his size.
Oh, my cat is
Um,
tiny.
Last time we heard to the vet, she was like 18 pounds.
My Morgan was 35 pounds.
Holy shit. Part Maine Coon?
Actually, part Russian blue. And I don't know what else because I picked him up off the street, literally. But he was longer than a yardstick and 35 pounds and just a massive, massive cat. He lived to be, what, 22 years old?
Wow.
Yeah, the cat I lost a
See,
couple of years ago,
that's how you
Guapo.
know that there's no God, is because cats live longer than dogs.
Right?
Aww.
Actually, the
Tiny.
dog's
Oh,
life
good.
expectancy goes a lot by the breed size. Generally, the larger the dog, the shorter their lifespan.
Yep.
Yeah, I just lost my big dog recently. She was
Okay, so
like
the
10.
little toy dogs are annoying for decades, right?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, Rudy here is like 12 years old. So
yeah. I had a friend who raised Irish Wolfhounds, and I was shocked to find out that their lifespan on average was only 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
wow. That's rough.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with losing them that often.
We had a
I mean, most of the cats I've had have been teenagers by the time I lost them.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how things are going to go with this one. I had, well, I shouldn't say I had, Miranda had me essentially all her life. Uh, I think she was what? She was younger than 8 weeks. And Michelle gave the kittens out earlier than she should have because her boyfriend didn't want the kitties around. But then Miranda died at the age of 15. Her littermate sister died at the age of 19, and that was
Wow.
with chronic kidney disease for the last few years of her life. Well, the ex had the money to take decent care of her. Um, I don't know how it's going to go with this one. I rather suspect she's going to outlive me. But
She's a great cat.
she's the Sylvia kitty.
She's
Yay!
cute and she's such a tiny thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, my cat is tiny. She probably weighs about 3, maybe 4 pounds. She's little.
this one last I weighed her was somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds. I haven't weighed her in a while, so I'll have to give that a shot one of these days.
I think
I judge by bags of
Patsy's.
sugar. I know she weighs less than a 5 pound bag of sugar.
I think Patsy's 5.5 pounds. Not for the lack of all the food I shoved down her throat, though. This cat eats 2 cans of cat food a day.
Wow.
Well, is she active? Does she run around and play at all?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
like 15 years old and she's bouncing off the walls.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, well,
And she
Yeah.
she leaps onto the chair so violently she knocks the whole thing onto the ground and surprises herself like, why did it topple over? I don't know, maybe because you're acting like a fucking cannonball. Oh, I'm startled now. Oh, it's like, yeah, you're startled. No, but I have her. I have like a kiddie pool that I put all her toys in, mix it up with catnip,
yep.
and then make sure they're all like good and stinky. And she just that's the one mess that I'm okay with in the house is the amount of catnip leaves and cat toys all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes she walks up to me like, "Hi, I've had a kegger. Look at me. I'm covered in catnip and I've got a mouse in my mouth. Meow. Yeah, cool. By the way, are you gonna feed me another can of cat food? I kind of would like 3 cans a day. No, you're not getting 3 cans a day. You're gonna eat dry food. Oh, but I'm too good for that. No, you're not.
My cat loves catnip.
Catnip gets the kitties high, um, but I don't know. I guess would it be
Well,
would it be
actually,
accurate to say it's sort of like kitty marijuana?
Yeah, kind of.
not quite. Actually, it's more like an aphrodisiac. That
Yeah,
they've done
if the cat
studies.
is not sexually active or sexually capable of reproducing, a cat, like if they're too young, they're not going to react to it at all.
Well, I don't know. I know that cats that have been spayed and neutered can still react to it.
Oh yeah.
But they have said that like 15% of cats are just naturally immune to it and it'll have no effect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but with some of them, it chills them the hell out.
Yeah, for most cats, it's supposed to trigger the same brain chemicals that basically they think they're in love.
Yeah, mine will get the zoomies for about 5 minutes, and then it's just chill as hell for like the next 2 hours. And she's just like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
the
pretty
post-
much what Sammyson does. He races from end to end of the apartment, crashing into things because he can't make the turns. And then
Uh-huh.
after about 10-15 minutes of that, he just melts on the floor.
Yeah, just puddle.
And then there's leaves all over them, and they're just, ah.
What
Yeah.
was so funny with the other two cats when I had Guapo and Fiona is that Fiona would just roll in the stuff And then Guapa would just be there for like 2 hours licking it out of her fur.
Oh.
Aw.
See, I have a catnip spray I use when I go and clean at houses that have cats. I put the catnip spray on me.
Ah,
So do you
Yeah.
think if I got some of that catnip spray stuff and shot it on the next woman I fall in love with, that she'll reciprocate?
I don't know,
I
maybe.
don't know that it does the same thing for
I,
peoples that it does for kitties.
yeah, but it
Yeah,
You
I
don't
sounds like
want a
mean,
catty woman.
it's worth a try.
I know catnip is a pussy magnet, but I'm not sure if it's the right kind.
Yeah, but you don't want a catty woman. Those are no fun.
Tony Design said he grows his own, and when he goes over to his friend's house who has mean cats, like standoffish, I put a leaf in my pocket and they think I'm the cat whisperer.
I love Tony.
That's a good idea.
That's a great plan.
Oh my goodness. Whew.
Yeah, I wish I knew what a good aphrodisiac was, but oh well, it's just not going to happen. So what are you going to do?
Look, anybody wishes they could find one for humans. You'd make a fortune.
Yep, there's no
Love
such
is
thing.
number nine.
The only aphrodisiac we have is between your ears.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if you're going to find an aphrodisiac for humans, you also need to find a repellent
Antidote.
for one as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
repellent, yes.
Yeah. I mean, have any of you read Perfume: A Story of a Murder by Patrick Susskind?
Uh-uh.
No.
That's not familiar.
Well, they made a movie out of it, and I want to take credit for them making a movie out of it, but I wish, because I used to tell people all the time they need to make a movie out of this damn book, and when they finally did, I was like, yeah, someone listened to me. But anyway, it uh there's this person who's born without any sense of, like, no personal odor at all, and it's his story about the jobs he had, how he was demonized, how he was used. His sense of smell is off the hook, though, and he ends up creating a perfume. And I'm not going to tell you any more because it's. But if you want to be appealing, you know, just read that book. You
So it's
might
like he
rethink
could
it.
so like he could fart in an elevator and no one would know.
Um. Well, see, what he did was he ended up working for a perfume industry and blah blah blah, and he found out how to make pomades, how to make spritzes, but he also realized, because he spent some time in a cave, that he had no odor, none. So it was almost as if he had no humanity. So what he did was he found the most attractive, appealing young virgins, and he basically made a perfect perfume to and he wore the perfume, and people treated him nicer and
Get the bug.
better.
Get the bug. Get the bug. Go get it.
And the ending is quite
Boy.
there's one line that you just read over and over and over again, because you're like, no, that didn't, that wasn't what I thought. No, 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 no. Close the book, come back, read the line again. No, 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 no. Like, it took me days to get beyond this one line, because I'm sitting there shaking my head going, no,
Well, now you got to
no,
tell us the line.
Well, it probably won't
no.
make sense without reading the whole story anyway, so.
No, actually, it would make sense, but I don't know if I want to give you the spoiler.
Oh.
You know, because it definitely is the pinnacle, the moment you can't get beyond when you're reading it. And it was funny too, 'cause I gave the book to my ex-boyfriend, well, before we broke up, and his best friend. And his best friend read it on an airplane, and he came back and said, "You tricked me." I went, "I didn't trick you." He said, "I thought the book was safe." Oh, you got to that part, did you? Yes. It it's disturbing. It changes your perception of attractiveness. And
Now,
at
see,
least
again, I think that's a part of it that I kind of miss out on because I've just had such chronic sinus issues all my life that it's a rare day I can smell anything.
Well, I
wow.
can tell you that I don't like the way men smell. It's not an aroma sort of thing. It's got to be a pheromonal thing. It's hitting the vomeronasal organ. But it's a big turnoff to me the way guys smell,
Yep.
and it's in a way it's too bad because I mean lately there have been a couple of guys who have turned my head, but you think about it and it's like no, I could never have the relationship. It simply wouldn't work. Um, what are you going to do?
I like it when oh
Well,
listen.
okay, those guys are safe. They're married, so that wouldn't go in. That wouldn't go anywhere anyway. So
No,
Now,
but when it
Tony's
comes to men's products though, I like it when men wear lavender.
that's
mhm.
interesting. I didn't think of
It
lavender as
works.
the scent for a guy.
All of my grandfather's shaving products were lavender.
Huh.
Tony's saying I'm hyper smeller, hyper taster. It can be good, it can also be miserable. And the weird thing I've found is that, while I've read a lot of stuff that says that the sense of smell and taste is so linked, that while I have trouble smelling anything, if somebody has like used too much perfume or too much cologne, I can't smell it, but I can taste it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
alcohol. Yeah.
And the very unfortunate thing is, I know it's going to sound terrible, but the folks around here tend to bathe in perfume and cologne.
Oh yeah.
You
I
can
remember
smell them coming a quarter mile away.
I
Yeah.
remember one instance when I was in Minneapolis taking the bus, and this woman got on the bus, and just as she walked down the row, everyone she passed was trying to open the window, and I swear I expected her to leave a puddle where she sat down.
Yeah, and the colognes and the perfumes that these folks use don't even smell that good to me. Damn it! It would be a little bit better if they smelled nicer, but no, 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 no.
It is amazing though how some perfumes can just do things to your brain. It's amazing. I mean, I've always known that the olfactory senses are the quickest, easiest, and deepest route into the brain. I don't know if you know that.
Yep.
Um, but it still is amazing to me how certain scents can just like make you crazy. That I just love this. I just you could put it on a dog and I'd want to make love to him. So
I
That's
think
something
that's
else
why I
when you have
like.
no sense of smell. Dude, get that bug. Get it, Rudy. Get it.
Well, in
Ew, it's a stink bug.
paleontological terms,
Fuck. Oh, yuck. Goddamn stink bug. What?
oh, yep, in paleontological terms, they've actually, said that smell is the most primitive scent. It's like the first one that evolved. So
Grr.
it's the most connected to the brain.
How appropriate that we speak of such a thing, and I just got
Yeah.
sprayed by
Well,
a stink
and
bug.
just because it has the strongest connection to the brain, it's also the one that creates the most long-term memories. That a smell is something you'll remember years and years later, even if you don't remember what it's connected with.
That makes sense. And if a food has made you sick, the smell of it will bring that right back.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's like beer. I can't even smell beer. It's like, no, 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 no.
Well, or even like you're saying about, you find lavender attractive on men because you connect it with your grandfather.
Well,
And there is a
I
lot
don't
of
know if
that.
it's because I connect it with my grandfather, but I do know that every time I've given lavender to men, it smells better than if a woman wears it.
Hmm.
Did you say better or bitter?
Better, much
Better.
better. Like, there's something that sort of clicks with male chemistry and lavender in the female brain where you just go, oh, oh. I don't know why.
I drink Earl Grey tea because of the lavender smell,
Yeah.
even though it's
Mm-hmm.
not lavender.
And bergamot.
Yeah,
Bergamot, that's another one.
I
Yeah, Tony
love it.
Design is saying smell is literally chemical detection and that even bacteria do it. Yeah, and I guess that makes sense that smell is actually, it's a matter of a few particles per million of air, but
Yeah. My dad used to wear Old Spice. I still like the smell of Old Spice. It's about the only male cologne I can tolerate.
I had a friend in high school who would occasionally run up to me and go, "Have you smelled so and so?" What? He smells like sex. It's like, he does. Yeah. Does he smell like he's had sex? Oh no. He smells like you need to fuck him. I'm like, okay. And you know what? She was always right. It's like, oh, that one does smell good.
Yeah.
And it was never cologne because we asked. It's like, why do you smell like that? What do you mean smell like what? Well, what do you use? I don't. What soap do you use? It was never the same type of soap. It was never. It was just that, I don't know, something.
It's
You
one of the few
smell someone.
situations I'll be rude in. If somebody smells bad, I will tell them, I
And
need a bath.
it wouldn't surprise me to find out that that same scent or sense or whatever it is that you're describing, that I makes me want to fuck this person, is the same thing that turns me away from a man.
well, most mammals do use pheromones.
Yeah.
It's just that humans don't have a nearly as strong a sense of smell. So,
Well,
I mean,
humans
it would make sense that at least some people would still be able to detect those pheromones.
well, no, the hardware that picks up pheromones is not the same hardware that picks up aromas.
Oh,
There's a certain it's called a vomeronasal organ, a VMO, which is responsible for detection of pheromones in mammals anyway, and humans do have a VMO. It's just unknown, or at least the last time I looked, which was a long time ago. So maybe they've learned something. Unknown how sensitive that VMO is in humans.
Or if we
You know
even
what's
really
really funny
produce
though?
pheromones. They haven't found any human pheromones. Not like I'm like you. Last time I read up on it, they had not actually concluded that we have pheromones for that organ to detect.
Yeah, I was pursuing my degree the last time I looked at any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
that was a while ago. I was graduated
It's
in
been a
90.
while.
I didn't know there was a distinction there.
Well,
What were
what
you
I
saying,
think is
Faye?
funny is like certain perfume brands. I'm not going to mention them because this is kind of a gross fact, but they make perfume for women that appeals to women, not appeals to men. And it's funny because women wear perfume usually to attract a guy. Well,
Hmm.
back then, yeah. But the funny thing is, it would be made for that sort of thing, and a lot of it included like male cat piss.
Hmm.
Yeah, they use
Well, they
Um,
pumpkin
advertise.
and all kinds of weird stuff for perfume.
Yeah, I
They
mean, if you found out what's in it, you'd go, I would never put that on my body.
There are some colognes for men that they advertise as having pheromones. But if
Mhm.
you listen to them, they're vague about it. And if you read up on it, they're actually using pheromones from pigs.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
not using human pheromones. We can't
Yeah,
find
they never said it was human.
Yes,
we
there's
can't
a selling
found
point.
them yet.
Only that. Yeah. And yeah, Tony. Tony says male VMOs are more developed um, in parents than female VMOs because at one time males could tell when a female was fertile by odor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was definitely able to tell when a woman was interested in me by aroma. Um, Not every time, but often enough that there was a definite correlation going on there.
Well, and I have to say that is the one thing that if a man emits a strong male odor, that is something that completely turns me off.
Especially if they're a drinker. I don't know if people know this, but when you drink, it changes your smell. Like when you sweat, you smell the alcohol.
Well,
Well,
the alcohol makes things evaporate through your skin faster.
It has a to me it because I've been around alcoholics, and to
Hmm.
me it has a distinctive odor that I'm just like, that's nasty. That's
well,
nasty.
yeah, there were some
Definitely.
people I
Smell
knew
it not coming.
Well,
that
actually, that relating to Faye's question earlier about the things that would be deal breakers. That
Oh
soft girl
yeah,
said that was one of them. That if they're a heavy drinker, she won't date them
yeah. I don't want
because she's had
yeah.
experience with alcoholics and she won't deal with that again.
to. Oh,
There's also
Oh,
been a
my.
study, and I saw a bit of it on QI. Um, quite interesting. They had a segment about whether or not women can smell fear, especially other women's fear, and apparently we can.
hmm.
We can smell it. We may not be able to pick up on exactly what it is, but we notice a difference. That's
Yeah, it's
weird.
not a conscious thing, but it triggers some
Mm-hmm.
instinctual response.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hmm. We
Mold
get
beef.
a lot of cues that we don't realize that are just we communicate non-verbally. As much as we talk, we communicate way more with our actions and our expressions and stuff like that. So I would imagine odor probably has a lot to do with it too.
I
That
think
was
that's
very
why
good.
some people are just really careful about like what they eat. Like Tony says, I smell like baby powder, pipe tobacco, and weirdly basil. Tony, I think you smell good. I know all those scents. I think you smell good.
That does sound like an interesting combination.
Hmm.
Tobacco is not a smell I find attractive, so
Pipe
other than that, but
tobacco.
one thing I have noticed with men is that, men who eat like a lot of meat, like primarily meat, do have a stronger smell that again, it will put me off. You know, men who have a lot more produce in their diet, it's not nearly as strong.
That's was a very well known dynamic that went on in Vietnam. Um, the Vietnamese people who were involved in jungle guerrilla work would describe how they could smell where the Americans were because Americans are such heavy meat eaters
Yeah.
compared to the Vietnamese who had very very little, if any, meat in their diet.
Hmm.
So that's absolutely true. Absolutely.
I wonder if
Western
it's
I've
just
noticed
like
civilization
I'm on the
people.
keto diet now, and I have noticed I smell bad. um, I've been mostly non-meat eating for almost 20 years, and all of a sudden my body has got this dead flesh in it, and it's definitely has made my odor that I can sense different, and I don't like it.
Hmm. I wonder if that's why dogs like me because I eat a lot of meat.
Aww.
It smell like a bone.
Yeah, I've never met a dog I couldn't make friends with. Like even the one that's everybody says, "Don't talk to that dog. It's mean." Well, it's nice to me. So maybe because I smell like meat.
Now, I generally do quite well with animals. Animals and small children I do fine with. Teenagers and adults, not so much.
Yeah, yeah, I can go there. Well, honey, is he the kitty?
But yeah, I've had a lot of cats that, nobody could get close to, that I was able to just walk right in and pick them up.
No, you're not gonna. I've only just recently become cat friendly. I've never been a cat person. I've always had dogs, and then I ended up with this cat, and I just love her, and she's wonderful, but she's totally different from my dog. She's like a whole separate world from my dogs. You know, I made her come in the house the other day. She does not come in the house. She don't want to come in the house. She doesn't care to come in the house. The dog's living here. She don't want no part of it. She's a front yard cat. She's happy. But I made her come in the other day. It was storming really bad, and I was kind of worried about her. So I made her come in the house, and I took her in the bedroom, and I closed all the doors so there were no dogs or anything there. And that was the most miserable cat you have ever seen in your life. She was like,
Aww.
Well, she
"Meow."
she
So,
probably felt trapped, like she couldn't get out if something threatened her.
well, she'd never been in there before. She's
Yeah.
literally never been in my room. And so she was looking at everything and she was definitely freaked out. I felt really bad. So I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll put you back out in the storm if that's where you're happy. Not in the storm. She lives in the garage, but she, she was not a happy kitty. And I'm not doing that ever again.
Well, it has to be their idea when it comes to cats.
Well, I
Maybe
thought I
you.
was doing her a favor because it's so hot and she's black and furry and long haired and I was like, come inside, see how nice it is in here. I was trying to show her how nice it is in here. And she just not having it.
That's so funny. I remember one time I always check my sister's messages first when I wake up. And I'm checking, and there's a picture of this orange cat in her bed, and she doesn't own one. She doesn't have an orange cat. And he's just snuggling up to her as if, yeah, I belong here. And we find out it's the neighbor's cat, and he came in, and he's been basically camping in their house every night because, you can set up cameras. And he just started, he said, well, I've been here long enough, I'm gonna sleep with you now. And she woke up and she found out his name was Alejandro. And Alejandro tried to romance his way into the house, but the neighbors took him back. And then occasionally Alejandro would show up at the window going, hey, remember our snuggle? I could snuggle you.
It's too funny.
That's very nice, Alejandro, but you do have a family of your own. And he'd go, but we had a moment.
Well, that's the one nice thing about the trend toward chillier weather, that sort of thing. This one will very likely start coming under the covers with me again
Aww.
because I'd wake up and she's in the crook of the knee. Um, Once or twice, she would insinuate herself under my arm. And then, of course, there's always that wonderful, wonderful sensation, which does happen even now, of waking up with a cat arse in your face.
Meow.
I like when I wake up and she's laying on my back.
Meow.
Because it's like, oh, you're giving me an excuse to stay in bed. Oh, thank you. Thank you, kitty.
Well, prior to Sammy's son, the three cats I had all come from a feral colony that lived in the park behind our house in New York.
Aww.
Yeah, we re-domesticated them slowly. But then I wound up bringing two of them with me when I moved. I never quite found out what happened to the third one. He just, about 2 months before the move, I just didn't see him anymore, so I don't know what really happened.
Someone probably took him in.
Well, no, he was the most skittish of them. I never really got to pet him. He would always stay out of arm's reach. But he had finally gotten to the point that he would come into the living room and he would sit with us, just kind of at the opposite end of the room. So I wonder, but there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta shut off my mic for a minute here and I'll be back.
Okay.
I have to be honest, so my cat's an asshole. I love her to death, but she is an asshole. See, I can't sleep on my back, bub. That's the one position I can't sleep in. Just can't.
I can't sleep on my back.
I sleep on my side or I sleep on my stomach, but I sleep on my side mostly.
I could not sleep on my stomach.
Well, the ladies get in the way.
Like, ow.
When I was a kid, I'd go to the beach with my mom. My mom's the type of person, you put her outside in the sun for 2 seconds and she's flash burned. You know,
Yikes.
she's the color
Okay.
of paper. She'd go to the beach to sacrifice her skin to the sun god. Anyway, every single time though, before the blanket goes down, she digs a hole, puts the blanket over it so she can fit her boobs in there. And my cousins went to the beach with us once, and why are you doing that? And she's like, to be more comfortable. Well, I don't understand why. We're at the beach. It is comfortable to lay on the. And they didn't get it. And they didn't get it. And the boys.
Right.
And finally, their mother, who came with us, said, "It's because our tits are too big." And half of the beach turned, and my mom's like, "Great, thanks."
I hate it when I'm tossing and turning in bed and I wake up with one of the boobs trapped under your side and it's all stretched and
Oh, yes.
oh, yay. Excuse me, I have to adjust.
Oh, it's constant.
Or one of them's fallen out of your pajamas and is now wrapped up around your neck like this.
Yeah, boobs are great, but they sure do get in the way sometimes.
Oh, it's funny because they're the one thing I would love to give up. Like mine, just too much in the way. Especially in the summer when you get the under boob sweat.
Yeah.
I stick you know those plastic ice cube things?
Huh?
You're supposed to put these plastic ice cube things in your drink so you can have cold drinks without getting them watery.
Yeah.
Screw that. We bought a whole bunch of like these plastic lemon wedges to put under our bras. You can put it in the. It helps. it helps, but you're walking along and a lemon wedge will fall out. And people are like, "What the?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's mine. It belongs in my bra." And I make sure I make eye contact when I'm doing that. Like, don't touch my under boob cooler. It's
They
like,
can't last very long, though.
oh no, they
Oh my
they
God.
they really don't. But for those certain hours of the day where it's peak temperature, they help.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just take a Kleenex and kind of semi-roll it up and stuff it under there, just because I hate the stickiness of skin on skin.
Oh, I put deodorant on down there. It's like, okay,
Mm,
ladies.
powder.
Powder doesn't work.
Oh, yes, we're talking about underboob sweat, Math Pig. Sorry about
No,
that.
wait a minute, wait a minute. When
Doozy.
you say you'll install the deodorant there, it's not a talc-based deodorant then? It's something else just to um, deal with the sweat itself?
Yeah, I'll put secret under in my armpits, and then I will do an under boob swipe.
So wait a minute, wait a minute. You're saying you don't use talc because it doesn't work, but you're using the secret. The secret is nothing but talc,
They
right?
don't put talc in stuff anymore because of cancer risks. There's talc and asbestos come from the same kind of sources, and they find
Yeah,
small
everything
amounts of asbestos in
cornstarch
talc,
too.
and that's what that whole lawsuit against Johnson and Johnson was about. For the talc in their baby powder, they switched to cornstarch now,
Oh, great.
Yeah.
which I don't like. I'm
Cornstarch turns into like pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, antiperspirant is antiperspirant, aluminum
Mm.
chlorhydrate or whatever they call it. That's different from powder. Powder, you can sweat that stuff right off, and it gets
Yeah.
clumpy.
and all it's really doing is plugging up the sweat glands,
Yeah,
and
Right.
that's not good. I would rather absorb the sweat somehow than plug it up. That's just not good for you. There's a reason those damn things are there. You got to
well,
get that crap out of your body.
when I stopped shaving my underarms, I quit having to use so much deodorant because guess what? Those little fur babies just wick that moisture away. Don't even give the bacteria time to grow and give you a stink. So, what do you know? Mother Nature knew what she was doing there. I read
My,
an article a while back about a chick was like, I remember being so excited about getting my first pit hair, as a teenager when you hit puberty and you're so excited. Oh yeah, and then I turned right around and shaved the son of a bitch off. Like that doesn't make any sense.
It's funny though when you think about it. The people who shave their crotches, are they making themselves stink? Think about it.
Well,
Ew.
that and razor bumps and
pubic
like,
hair is for friction reduction.
yeah. I think you should leave the fur in the right places. And my armpit hairs are cute. They're like thin. And I used to think any woman with pit hair was gross. I mean, I had that thing about, oh, that's nasty, you know. But then it's like, oh, no, they're cute and they're thin and they're soft and they serve a purpose. And so, yeah. Now y'all know Granny's got hairy bits. Too
My
much
arm,
information.
my
I don't
armpits and
see
my
anything
bush are
wrong
the
with
only
it.
hair I have left on my body. It's
I
all
don't see
stopped
anything wrong
growing.
with not shaving. Perfectly fine.
I do still do the legs once in a while, but only in the summer.
I use
It's just
conditioner on my
insulation for
legs.
wintertime. I'm not super hairy anywhere, but
Well, you could always get those anti-rape pantyhose. Have you heard of those?
those what?
No.
Anti-rape pantyhose,
What?
which is a satirical, humorous name for them. I don't know what their official name is. Um, they're pantyhose that some manufacturer put out that simulates unshaven legs,
Oh
and it supposedly grosses men out so much that they won't even rape you.
That's terrible. That's funny.
I've seen those in a magazine.
yeah. I've seen pictures of that.
That's crazy. That sucks that we actually have to have something like that. How much does that suck?
Oh,
Oh my
Math Pig is back.
Yep. Just
Hair,
noticed that. Hey,
they're
Math Pig.
hair stockings.
God. Wow.
Pirate
I'll
Kitty was
send.
saying, huh?
I'm gonna send a picture of it to Angie. Um, the stockings. Go on. I'm sorry.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Pirate Kitty was just saying that this wasn't the kind of discussion she expected here. You
Something
never
to
know what
learn very
subject we're going to
quickly
get
around
into.
here is that the things you least expect are the first things to come up.
That's so funny.
Did I
I
break you?
totally need some of those.
Did I break you?
That's fantastic. Those are stockings.
Uh huh. I'm gonna put them in the
It
DM group.
looks
Hold
so
on.
real. That's crazy.
Pirate Kitty, what would you like us to talk about?
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Uh huh. Isn't that awesome?
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
What is it?
Did I break
The
Angie?
stockings with the hairy
Oh,
legs. You showed me a picture that's just remarkable.
it's pretty gross.
I don't mind it. I think it's fine.
I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody told me once that American women are goofy. Um, this is a French man who told me this. He said because they shave their legs. He said in France, the only women who shave their legs are the prostitutes.
Oh, really? Well,
That's what
then
he told me.
you
I
could
have no way
complete.
to check it out.
I've heard that before.
Oh, I know America is way worse about hair than other countries. I knew over there in Europe and France and all that, they were much more acclimated to furry women. So I didn't realize that the prostitutes were the ones that did do the shaving. Though that was a new little tidbit. Although I don't have a problem with prostitutes
I'm
either.
not all that thrilled about hairy anybody.
Yeah, I don't care for body hair a whole lot on anybody, but I do
I mean,
have a
scalp
hair.
hair, that's fine. But
The first husband had 11 hairs on his chest. We counted them once.
Has anybody seen that picture of Alex Jones that's going around?
With
Somebody
the boobs?
photoshopped him with a pair of like G cup boobs. Oh my
White
god!
hairy boobs.
And their hair, yes,
No.
it's
It's
so
really
gross.
gross, but it's funny.
Oh,
Oh, I'm gonna have
jeez.
to Google that.
It's like that's what I imagine a female Sasquatch looks like. Big old hairy boobs.
I- yeah, it was tough to look at. But if anybody deserves that, he does. Somebody passed it around on Twitter, and I wrote back. Apparently, he's been eating too many gay frog legs.
I don't know. Again, I have preferences, but it's not a deal breaker. I did date a woman who didn't, refuse to shave her legs because she felt it was unnecessary. It's like, if they got enough other things going for them, it's something I can overlook.
Well,
Well, you
it's a pain in the ass to shave your legs.
I know, I've done it.
I do
Boy,
shave this.
that killed the conversation.
I do shave this part of my arm though, because my bracelets all the time are like pulling my little hairs. So I get my little edges out, and I'll do like once a month or so. I clean up around the wrist so that my bracelets don't pull my hair.
that's smart.
Since I kind of have bangs right there, so that's not. You can't see my hairs; they're all white.
Well, my armpit hair is
It's
fine
like a
as long as I keep it braided.
braided.
Yeah,
I like
Angie
that.
Orla was saying the same thing, that shaving the forearms so they don't end up plucking out the individual hairs.
Yes, that's exactly why.
I understand what you mean by that.
My dogs are going crazy.
You
They
know,
can't figure out why I'm.
You talk about facial hair. I wish I could afford the electrolysis and just have it over.
Oh, that hurts.
nah, I would
Yes,
have
it
done it
does.
if I could have afforded it.
They should stop shaving and start waxing
I
because
tried waxing. It
it will
doesn't
make
work
the
on my
hair.
skin.
It
Well,
will
the
make.
hair is so coarse and my skin is so fine
Yeah.
that if I try waxing my beard, by the time the swelling in my face goes down, the hair's regrown.
Yikes. Ouch. Okay. Scratch that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, again, it's with the fair skin and the dark hair, even if I shave, it's like it's not even the full day. It's literally the 5 o'clock shadow that 6 or 8 hours later, you can actually see the shadow of the hair coming back.
Have you tried the? I don't know if y'all remember. It came out a few years back called the No No.
Huh? What?
It's called the No No. I know that sounds like a stupid name.
I
I
Wasn't
don't
that
think.
another epilator thing?
No, what it is it's oh, I don't know how to explain it except for it uses like an electric, almost like a taser. Okay, like there's a little blue spark, and what it does is it when it hits the hair, it zaps it.
Oh
It like
yeah.
fries it all the way down into the follicle, and it actually does work. I have one, and I used it for a while, and the hair on my legs is way thinner now than it ever was before.
Hmm.
Like I can get away with not shaving for a week.
Okay,
So
yeah,
it's
I'd
really,
seen things like that. I didn't know if they actually worked.
but it cost me like $250. And when you do it, if you turn on some candles or some Glade or something, because it smells like burning hair all up in the bathroom when you do it. But it did work. It actually did work. I was really surprised because usually stuff like that doesn't work with the crap you see it on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
And it did work, and it didn't hurt. It didn't burn or cause me any. It's not ripping the hair out. It's basically singeing it off. But the heat from that little bit of an element thing, I don't know if it's an electric thing or if it's actually an element, but it's blue. It's really hot, and it only does it when the little roller's moving. So if you stop, you can't like burn yourself. It was really pretty effective. So,
Yeah, I've heard about that, and everyone I know who's used it like loves it.
yeah, I don't. The smell is the only real complaint I had.
Oh,
That, and I would have to let the hair get kind of long before I could, before it would really work. And I used to be really obsessive about shaving my legs. Not so much anymore, but yeah, when I got that, I was really concerned about it. But it actually does work. It doesn't work as well as they say it does because it's like electrolysis. You have to do it more than once in the same area because your hair follicles are not all growing hairs at the same time. Some are dormant, some are active. You get that one going, and then the follicle next to it grows a hair next month. So it takes.
Uh-huh.
So we have to keep doing it, but I gave up after a while.
I think it's funny that there are these. They have no hair removal lotion for men, and I think it's they're supposed to like use it all over like their back and blah blah blah, and it's still cheaper than the products women use.
Yeah, and it's
Why is
still
that?
Nair. It's just Nair.
Because the corporate America knows they can make a buck off of us.
Well, it's a caustic sodium hydroxide thing that's really bad for your skin, and I'm not a big fan of depilatory creams because of the strength of the chemical in it is ridiculous. I mean, it's the same stuff they use for straightening African American hair, sodium hydroxide, or same kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah, you just leave it
great.
in a lot longer until it's like
Yeah.
sort of mushes the hair up.
Yeah, and you know what happens if you leave perm on too long? Your hair melts and falls out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Breaks off. So that's what Nair is. It's
Yeah, let's look up the official
melting the hair off of you.
I had a henna accident.
Oh, did you?
Yep, I had a henna accident.
On your hair or on your skin?
My hair.
Oh dear.
See, it was a tiny little packet of black, and I've got hair color that's in between. It's brown, but it's got gold in it and red in it and all these other colors in it.
Yeah.
And after a couple of years, every now and again, I'll rinse some henna through it just to get the brassy gold out of it.
Yeah.
Because my hair is really dark, but with all that other crap that shows up because of being out in the sun and things like that, and it doesn't look right. So I put the mixture together as I always have every 5 years or so. Put it on my hair. Put a bag over my head. I had my headset on, and I got into an argument with someone online. Then I realized it's been an hour.
Ooh, dear.
So I rinsed my hair out. My hair was basically the blackest black of all the blacks.
Yes.
And it was a black hole that sucked in light and looked awful. It looked so awful because
Yeah.
it wasn't shiny, it wasn't natural looking. It looked like I had used shoe polish on my head.
Yeah. A lot of those, what they claim to be henna vegetable dyes, they call it, a lot of metallic salts and stuff in them too. That's that's how come they can make it look black. Because henna doesn't give you black. Henna gives you red.
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
And boy, it was the blackest black of all the blacks.
Poor
It
baby, I
smelled
bet it took
good.
forever to grow out.
It faded. It took
Eventually.
6 weeks, but it started to fade.
I used to do real henna on a lady, um, like the actual henna powder that we would get it. We would buy it. She had a sister-in-law that lived in India and would send her these like big pound bags of this henna stuff.
Lucky.
And I still have a whole bunch of it too. Because after I closed the shop, it's like, do you want this henna back? She's like, nah, I'm gonna quit coloring my hair since you can't do it anymore. I'm gonna quit. Like,
Oh wow.
but it was really cheap over there. I mean, it cost me crazy to buy it here. I think she could get it really cheap over there and send it to us. So, but she had gorgeous hair. We had to mix the henna with indigo, which is another
Yeah.
powder ground plant, and it would give her a really pretty brown, except for where she had gray hair. And on the gray hairs, only the henna would grab, and so she'd have this brown hair with these beautiful red highlights. It was gorgeous. It was fantastic. Her hair was so healthy. It was not a chemical one. You just mix it with lemon juice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. But it was messy. We had to cake that stuff on like frosting, like cake frosting, and then I'd wrap her hair up in a towel. She had a special little do rag thing, and she'd have to wear it all day and rinse it out at home later that evening because it takes a long time for that stuff to process. For the
Unfortunately, my
yeah,
hair, like my my temples are white. My hair is dark, but I have the white temples. So I can do the Bride of Frankenstein thing really well.
I started going gray in high school, so I've had white hair for a really long time. But I colored it until about 5 years ago when I cut it all off and said, I'm done. I'm tired of it. Because I was having to color it like every 2 weeks because I would get this little line of white and it looked like I had covering off my scalp. It was horrible. So frustrating. But yeah, I digress. We can change the subject.
Mhm. It's so much fun though.
One thing I never tried was coloring my hair. Actually, just last week I was talking with Sloth Girl about putting some purple streaks in it.
Oh, that might be
That's why I like the
cute.
spray paint. Because I can put it on there and wash it. I can go wash this later and it's gone. Like, it just is gone.
I know I've said this before. I have occasionally thought of it, but then I get the thought, what if I hate it? You know, um, my hair grows so slowly
Yeah,
that if this was a permanent dye job, it would take years, literally, for it to grow out.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a commitment if you have long hair, especially.
Hey, Spooky.
You'll have to excuse me for a minute. I'll be back.
Does he better at apocalypse? No, I don't know what I just said.
Thing is,
Jeez, Angie.
Diana, you
Wait,
have
wait, wait.
beautiful hair. There's no reason for you to color it.
Well, there's the couple of times I had thought of it was a novelty sort of thing, like for the winter holiday season, you know, putting a green wash in the hair, for example. Um, Now there was a friend of mine that was after me and after me and after me and after me. She wanted to color my hair. She wanted to color my hair. She wanted to color my hair. It's like, Peggy, no, I don't want that. I don't mind going gray. I rather like the way I'm going gray. And she's not
Hmm.
hearing it, not hearing it, and it kind of drove a wedge.
Oh, that's sad.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, if they're going to be pushy about it and not listen to you.
yeah, because every time she would talk to me, it's I want to color your hair. I want to color your hair. And it's like, no, Peggy, I don't want that. God damn.
Good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
Yeah, there were people who would comment. I don't know if this is the case actually or not, but they liked the way I seem to have the gray streaks along the sides of the face here, along with the
Hmm.
blonde. Um, I think I see what they're talking about, and I think I like it.
I think yours looks good. I mean, it suits you. It goes well with your skin tone and such.
And what's really fun is I'm on the other end of a color gradient, if you will. When I was very young, my hair was white. I was a towhead. Then I went through blonde to brown. Uh, then I'm going through blonde again on my way to gray. That's kind of interesting.
Do you know that they have pubic hair dye?
Yeah, I do.
I
It's,
didn't occur to me they would make it specifically for that. I thought they would just use general hair dye.
It's Betty. It's Betty Beauty, and you can get it in Malibu aqua blue color for the hair down there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, presumably, more gentle for sensitive skin, I guess.
No, apparently not. They make you bleach it and then you color it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't see any point in it. Then it just sounds like they're charging you extra because they're calling it a specialized product.
They
Yeah.
are. It's the same shit you put on your head.
I would never do that.
No, that's not my idea of a good time.
There was a very, very short period of time where the the business, I guess we'll call it, was doing actual perms on pubic hair with these tiny little toothpick rods. And I'm thinking, I do not want to be that close to anybody's hoo ha that long. I'm sorry. I cannot do
I've seen it.
They were perming their
perming.
pubic hair.
Yes,
Yes.
I've heard of it.
Give that bitch a Jerry curl.
Many years
Oh
ago, when I belonged to
my
a swingers group, I
goodness.
encountered it a couple of times, and it's
Yes.
like, you know, by the time you've got your clothes off, the color of your hair isn't really something I'm going to be concerned with.
Yeah. I'm. I think the hair dye makes more sense to me than perming it.
I can agree with that. Yes. I never ever understood the perming it thing. That makes isn't it already curly? Hello.
Well, not
Not
for everyone.
necessarily.
It again that depends on your genetics.
Okay, I know. I'm just kidding.
And well, and apparently for people with um a lot of Native American ancestry, it tends to be straight.
As long as it don't poke your eyes out, right?
You know,
Well,
sometimes I really
if you
think I probably shouldn't admit to having so much experience with these things, but
but
We
still
love
though,
your
if you
unique
wear clothes,
perspective,
you're going to
girl.
have like ha- hat hair. If yeah,
Hat hair.
yeah, like if you wear clothes, it's going to be affected. It's not going to be.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I get that.
wait a minute. Orla's saying something about you can get holy lube.
Oh
Can somebody
yeah.
else check this because I can't be reading
No,
this
no, no,
right?
no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, they're right.
Holy
They're
water
right.
based lube. Oh my Carl.
Yes, yes, yes.
Heal your
Basically,
heal your Jaina.
Okay,
Glory.
well, wait. This means that somewhere a church or at least a priest had to make a deal with a cosmetics company to supply it for this purpose. That they have to do a religious ritual for it. No,
have you heard of
They're
divine
so using
interventions?
their blessing lube, y'all. I'm not
but no, no, this is not something that Christians would do. Pagans, yes, but this is not something Christians would
They
do.
it's a water-based lube and they use holy water in it.
That's just so silly.
No.
I don't
Yes.
understand.
I can't think of any group of Christians that are sex positive enough to actually do this.
Are you kidding me? Christians are freaky. They just don't
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
they're
it.
very
Well, yeah, they're,
Oh,
but
honey.
that's what I mean though. But that a priest would actually do this so they could put it on the package is the part that I don't get.
Well, they'll
well,
get it in a cage.
because
Why wouldn't
that
they?
way you have like protection down there from the devil. Oh, here's one. Holy Waterloo sent us orgasmic, feeling a little empty in your soul. Put a little Jesus in your hole. Handcrafted by Kimber the Fury. Jesus mean, mean. And also Divine Interventions, but Divine Interventions also sells the baby Jesus butt plugs, so that might be sarcasm.
That's wonderful.
I know. They also have like Uh, well, yeah, divine interventions. You should look up the diving nun. That's their shower sex toy.
Well, I've seen some of the sex toys with the nun and religious motifs to them.
Hmm. But yeah, holy water lube is a thing.
I've never wanted to have sex with a nun, though.
No.
Unless they bring their ruler. Well, that could be different.
Well, we know things now. We know things now.
I was talking to somebody one time and said something about what church do you go to, and I said I'm a nun, and she looked at me funny. I was like, no, not that kind of nun. I'm a
Oh, that's
nun. A
fun.
nun.
That's fun.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wonder about is you would think after so many decades of the Catholic schoolgirl uniform being like a BDSM icon that the church would have changed the uniform by now.
No.
Unless they're into it.
Yep. Because they're into it.
Oh my goodness. I can't even. Some of the silly stuff
Well,
people do.
it is weird though. I have to, and I have no doubt that the rest of you have thought about this from time to time. We're in a society that is so pedophile horrified, which is perfectly appropriate. I mean, pedophilia is horrible, but at the same time, we have this whole culture of naughty sex, which is okay, and one of the major icons of that is schoolgirl uniform kind of stuff. Isn't there hypocrisy going here?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
big
creepy.
time.
I think it's really creepy that they even have such a thing. That should be a red flag at the very least.
I've seen some unfortunately a lot of my friends are, oh, let's go and pick out outfits for my grandkid, and it's like, yay, I get to go shopping. One of the things I hate the most, shopping. But we go, and I'm looking at this stuff going, uh, uh, but no, why would anyone dress their kid that way? It's a little
Yeah.
bit over. I mean,
It's hard to shop for kids nowadays. They want to dress them like little grown-ups.
Oh
but
God, those contests, beauty contests for little girls, makes me
Yeah.
insane
Me
with
too.
rage. It's just, how dare you?
All beauty
yeah,
pageants piss me off.
Little thief.
All of them.
and they teach them how to dance like adults.
Well,
That there's no innocence in there anymore.
yeah, you don't hear about it much anymore, but it had become quite a fad for a while of, like 8 and 10-year-old girls taking pole dancing lessons. And the parents were dismissing it as just it was a good form of exercise and that. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not something a preteen girl should be doing, period.
I I don't know.
Yeah, it is good exercise. I don't
It's
know.
really really good exercise.
Not for an 8-year-old. It's a sexual dance, period. And yes, it is good exercise, but
Yeah.
But it doesn't
let the kid be a kid.
It
it
doesn't have to
doesn't
be sexual.
have to be sexual.
Uh-uh.
The fact that you're
Just
using
be
your own
athletic.
body weight to work out. It's
like
good for the balance. It's good for overall, like everything.
Unless you happen to be somebody like me who is nowhere near limber enough for anything like that.
I would break the pole. Just
I'd
rip it
break the
right
pole and I'd break me on the way down to the floor.
Have you seen some of the pole dancing competitions where the men do it?
No.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
No, actually, I've never seen a man do it.
Oh my goodness. They're
Yeah.
thinking about well, they're trying to get pole dancing in the Olympics.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I say it's not necessarily sexual. I'm serious. It is serious strength to do something like that.
Well, no, I understand, as far as, yeah, that as far as exercise and it requires a fair amount of body strength on that, but I don't know. I guess just the connection with it is.
Yeah, I mean, like it. Just imagine a costume change so it's not sexual. Because
Well,
it's
and
really
that's
the
part of the
clothing that's
problem.
part of it.
Yeah, part of the problem is the costumes that I've seen, when they did things on TV about it with these young girls. Yeah, the costumes were definitely inappropriate.
Right, but
Yeah,
I
but look
mean,
at what
if
the look at what the ice skaters wear. Look at what the gymnasts wear. What's inappropriate about it? Because you can see their legs.
probably
Angie,
because a lot of the pole dancing things look like underwear.
Angie, this is an advantage that I, as a trans woman, has that you don't. Is I've sat in a room full of guys while they watch Olympic women's ice skating, and you would either blush and leave or take up weapons if you heard some of the shit I've heard.
Yeah, the ice skating is the last thing on their minds.
Yes, that is true.
I've heard those conversations
That sounds like a
myself.
man problem to me, not a female problem.
Well,
But
it
Well,
is,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the thing though. It's not, I mean, someone should be able to be completely naked and not be sexualized.
Yes.
Cuz sexiness is more than just the amount of skin showing.
And there's
well,
lots of
okay, you want that? You get me out of my clothes, and believe me, it will be the last thing on your mind.
Yeah, me too. You don't want to see the problem. No, no. Dress is better in my case. But I don't think sexualizing it is because of the costume. I mean, no offense to anybody in particular, gender wise or otherwise, but a guy can sexualize dropping a coin in the slot of a vending machine.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah,
To
it's
blame it
true.
on the costumes is just kind of, for
Yeah.
me, that's irrelevant.
Well, anything can be,
Yeah,
sexual if you look at it the right way.
yeah. I mean, watch a horse walk by. Tell me that ain't sexy. They got a nice ass. They can sexualize anything, as far as I can tell. They can sexualize nothing. I know fellas that can have no stimulation whatsoever. And well, hello, Mr. Willie, how are you today? What the hell's going through your head that you're all perky all of a sudden? So if the breeze blows right, I don't know. But yeah, I have a problem with putting the sexuality, the like okay, strippers, yes,
Oh,
that their goal is to be sexual, but someone doing a pole dance is not necessarily goal is to be sexual. It's athletic, it's rhythmic, it's artistic. If you do it right, it doesn't
it
have to be
is
sexual.
absolutely mesmerizing when they do it right.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to put a link to a male pole dancer in the group. And he is amazing.
I wonder if it's the one I've seen already because he
You
looks
know, I
pretty.
I will probably have to look at that just because I've never seen a man do it.
It's beautiful. It's
It's very
absolutely
similar.
beautiful.
It's really similar to, in my opinion, to the rings. You know, the
You
men
know, and,
do the gymnastics,
yeah.
the rings,
Yeah.
and that upper body strength that they have to do all that manipulation with their upper body is just ridiculous.
I'm actually
Ah,
surprised that I haven't seen a man do it because I've been to gay strip clubs.
well, I they I think a lot of men have the upper body strength for it, but they don't have the legs.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
Like
I
there's an incredible amount of leg strength that comes from it.
Yes.
and I take it that this is more for the guys who look like Baryshnikov than those who look like Barney Rubble.
No,
Exactly.
no, not necessarily.
Well, no,
I've
if you can lift
I've
yourself up
seen a
against.
lot of male pole dancing, and uh yeah, some of them actually look like football players, but when you look at a male pole dancer's quadriceps, it kind of there's a difference between the way their bodies work. But if the video that I linked is, you might change your mind on how you feel about it. But
I think,
Well, I'm having a look right now, so we'll
it's
see.
caught
I
on
think
in the
that
Ukraine, it's caught on in Japan, it's caught on in the Philippines.
And I think one of the reasons the kids are so good at it is because they're so small. They're so light. They don't have all that body weight to move around, so they don't have to work quite as hard.
Actually, there's another male pole dancer that you really need to see. He's from China. He's a construction worker,
Yeah.
and he pole dances, and he is absolutely a brilliant athlete. He's a brilliant athlete. There's just no other.
Well, this guy's routine is far more like a gymnastics
I'm just you're looking.
exercise
I'm looking and I'm thinking the
than
same
the
damn
women's
thing. This
is.
is
I've
gymnastics. It is not
seen
dancing.
women's pole dancing just as athletic and not sexual. That's what I mean. It doesn't have to be sexual. The pole dancing doesn't have to be sexualized at all.
Right. They're not humping and grinding on the pole. They're not giving you the splits so that you can get a view of the whole glory, and they're not butt naked and
Crotch shot. You can say it. Crotch shot.
See all
Yeah,
this in
well, there
Florida.
is a lot of splits. There is a lot of splits, but
but they're not wearing a
eh,
thong.
they're not wearing a thong. Yeah.
And like the little girls usually have on tights underneath their outfits too. They may be flesh colored tights so that they're really hard to tell if they're wearing them, but if they pull the splits on you, you're not seeing anything. You're not gonna see anything.
She said, "Oh, never mind."
It's just kind of
But I'm
amazing.
one of those people who will defend strippers too and prostitutes because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if that's what you do to make a living, that's what you do. If it
I had
works,
a friend back in the '70s who was a registered nurse. She worked OR in the operating room,
yeah,
and like 3 or 4 times a week, she was an exotic dancer at a local club. And I used to go down because she wanted friends to be there for support.
yeah.
Um, and she was damn good. Boy, she was damn good. And got lots and lots of tips.
And if they would stop making it so taboo, and if they would legalize prostitution and stuff, we'd have a lot less of the sex trafficking. Because it just, if it's regular, I mean, look at Las Vegas. It's a very
Oh
well
no.
regulated system, and there's not a lot of that going on over there. Not that it doesn't happen, or not that it wouldn't happen, but I think it would cut down on a whole lot of it. But we're still so puritanical in this country. It's
Oh, I
disgusting.
completely agree. The more repressed it is, the more
Yeah,
they're going after it.
yeah,
Well, the
That's
fact that it's illegal is why we have
yeah.
sex
yeah.
traffickers.
I think prostitutes perform a valuable service. a necessary and valuable service.
Well, and even with like when I argue with people about legalizing it, most of the problems they bring up have nothing to do with the prostitutes. It's about the pimps. And if the
Well,
prostitutes could go to the police and say their pimp is abusing them, it would cut down on most of that.
well, and if it was legal, we wouldn't need the pimps.
Yeah.
There would
It's
be they
true.
would like not have a job anymore because the government will help you out, take care of it, and get you licensed and get
And it could become a home-based business.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, you'd still have somebody running the house, some kind of manager, which is effectively a pimp. But
But
yeah,
there'd be rules.
if the
There would
girls
be
doing
rules.
it had a recourse to go and report it when they're being abused, there'd
Yeah,
be a lot less abuse.
that's right.
Well, maybe you could go and change the system by becoming a pimp that does it the right way, not offensively and without violence and all that
Purple
kind of
pimp.
stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
just
could
have
I
to
could see
say,
you in a long purple trench coat
I
with orange
see,
Fur
trim.
hat.
I see no difference between pole dancing and rhythmic gymnastics.
Right. It's still just a sport. It's an athletic thing.
Yeah. Well, I watched a little bit of that. The bit you posted there. I'll watch the whole thing later, but you know, I guess you're right. I never really looked at it in that way, and like I said, I'd never seen men doing it before.
I don't have any problem with pole dancing at all. I have a problem with pole dancing children and the climate that we
See,
have
Yeah.
at this point in our country.
as long as it's treated like an athletic thing,
Yes,
because
it's done
that's really
tastefully.
what it is. If they treated it like an athletic thing rather than, okay, be sexy now, because pole dancing is it. Think about it. There's not one muscle group that you're not working out.
Yeah, well, and that is the problem with the children's beauty pageants and all that.
Yeah, we don't want to sexualize the children
Yeah,
at all.
Now,
Well,
I totally agree with that.
are those children's beauty pageants still alive and well? I haven't seen any news pieces on them in, for fuck's sake, well over 20 years.
Oh
So,
yeah, they're
Oh,
absolutely
It's
are
yeah.
still
still
very
going.
much alive and well. And
There
there's
there had
different
been a couple of
those
TV
too.
shows based on them, and you know,
I,
I,
I
I don't
don't
know
know
if any of
any
those
of
are
them.
still on the air or not, but
I don't care for any beauty pageants, but there are different degrees of those children's pageants. I do know that for a fact. There are some that are, the children are not allowed to wear makeup. They're not allowed to be all frou and looking like grown up little women and that sort of thing. They have to be natural looking. They can't have crazy hair colors. They can't wear the flippers, the teeth flippers. If they're lost their teeth because they're sick, they're gonna just have to be gap tooth, and those kind of things. And my niece used to do that when she was really really little, and she was always only in those, natural, what they called natural. The children has to look natural. They wouldn't even let them wear ruffly socks. You know, so. But I don't agree that any
okay.
competition based on looks is a good thing at all.
I was just about to say that I'm not a big fan of any of the appearance based competition. It's just the way I'm thinking. It's not how you look, it's what you can do, what you can talk
Right.
about.
That's what are you on the inside, not the outside.
I tend to feel the same way you guys are talking. Um, but then honestly, I've asked myself, would I feel different if I was gorgeous?
What to talk about? You are gorgeous.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's all how you see yourself. Then you don't have to worry about how other people see you.
Well, I I can see what Jen's saying that if I was born with a completely different and much more feminine body, yeah, maybe
Yeah,
it could influence my opinion on how I felt about some of those things.
that's true. I don't mean to discount what you're saying, Jen. I don't mean that at all.
Oh, I didn't feel yours.
I just don't.
Didn't
I
take it
hate
that
when
way.
people are hard on themselves because if you can't be your own friend, if you can't compliment yourself, how do you expect anybody else to? That's how I think about it.
Well, you
So
want to know
cute.
how that
See how
works?
cute
How it works
I
is that I'm living in a society that values attractiveness as one of the top three things in life. And when you go for 40 years and nobody wants anything to do with you in a dating or coupling sense, but at the same time you've got all your friends and support systems in the back that say you're a wonderful person and we love you,
am?
then
Yeah.
you begin to realize that the reason you're not getting any action is because you're fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And if people want to deny that, they can all they want. But sorry, I'm living the reality. It's
I
true.
I agree. I understand what you're getting at, but I also know lots of ugly people who are happily married and have been for a long, long time.
That's what I was
So
just thinking.
that's not. You,
Self
Yeah,
confidence
yeah,
something
is
that
like
and
Tony
then you
the
and
or
then
them.
and
biggest
then
thing.
I see that too. I see that too, and then I stand back and say, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
Well, I'll tell you, being poor doesn't help.
I didn't used to be poor. I used to bring in 60,000 a year.
Something Tony said in the chat earlier that
Nobody was
confidence
chasing
is a
George.
great aphrodisiac. Maybe we need to be a
I
little more
didn't hear what you
confident.
said, Angie.
I don't know. I don't know you well enough to make any kind of,
Yeah.
accurate statements. So I feel bad that I don't want you to think that I am dismissing what you say because I'm not doing that at all. I understand. I get it. Um, I don't think I'm beautiful. Never have, never will. But
Well,
I tell myself every day that I'm cute, whether I believe it or not. Don't matter much. See,
people
I'm
do
cute.
judge a lot by appearance, and that was something in a Twitter discussion I was in just last night that I was
Yeah.
saying that, yeah, just because people see me as being a white male over 50, it's pretty much assumed that whatever I say is going to be perverted before I even open my mouth.
I can understand where you're coming from that. Yeah, sometimes
I never make that assumption.
well, I get what he's saying because, like, for example, we're sitting in a restaurant the other day, just me and my two young girls, okay, eating a meal, not bothering anybody, not talking to anybody, and this older gentleman and his wife walk up, and he just walks up and puts his hand on the back of my 9-year-old granddaughter's back and says, "Well, aren't y'all a bunch of pretty girls sitting over here?" And Donna just like, and I just looked at him like, "You need to walk away now." I didn't say
That's
anything
a little
rude, but I
forward.
gave him the look
Yeah.
like, "Y'all know what you're doing, but that's just not okay."
Well, the touching was definitely out of line. He should
And
not
but
be
then after
touching
it
someone he
happened, I
doesn't even
felt really
know.
bad. I felt really bad afterwards because I thought, you know what? My dad is that kind of little old man. He would walk up and
Yeah.
put his hand on a little girl's head, go, "Oh, aren't you a pretty thing?" There would be nothing by it. You know what I mean? And then I felt bad that I gave the guy a dirty look. But then
Well, and
you
that's
be
I can
careful.
kind of see that from both sides, but
Yeah,
just
Better
blanket rule, you don't touch somebody you don't know because
yeah,
you don't know how they're going to respond to it.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
I'm
just an
I'm I'm
interesting
real
thing.
paranoid about pervy people around my girls.
Well, and
Uh,
I have the same thing because, I raised girls myself, and,
Yeah.
the same reaction, with my stepdaughters and my nieces when they were teenagers, that it's like, yeah, time to get the shotgun.
Yeah.
And if you knew how much I hated guns, that's really a big statement
Right?
from
Yeah,
me.
I don't like them either. We have them here in the house, but I don't touch them. I don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah, that's a whole another discussion.
They make me
Ow!
nervous.
did you get
What'd you
horse
do?
back?
My cat's beating me up.
I
Oh,
think so. Say that's kind of like cat attack.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh,
it's
jeez.
4 here. I should probably go to bed. But I did put in a Spider-Man pole dance. I haven't seen much more of it, but I don't think they're
Spider-Man
doing a
pole
very
dance.
good job of the pole dancing.
Spider-Man pole dancing? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
someone in a Spider-Man costume trying to pole dance,
Oh
but
dear.
doing a bad job of it.
Yeah, somebody in a Spider-Man costume, you can pretty much bet they're about to be doing a bad job at something. My oldest granddaughter loves
It
Spider-Man. She
it's
was
like
she was Spider-Man for Halloween a couple of years back.
it's just that this person, dressed as Spider-Man seems to be struggling with the basic moves of the pole dancing. Very awkward. I mean, they're strong enough, but they don't have the balance.
I would
That's why I
imagine
had to
Spider-Man
quit
suit would
driving
be
motorcycles.
slippery.
I lost my sense of balance. Kind of an
So,
important thing.
Bob, what the hell is a Spoder-Man? I might not want to know the answer to that question.
Oh no, doorknob head is here.
Doorknob man.
Oh, there goes the damn neighborhood. Hi, doorknob head, sweetie.
Hi, doorknob head. I should probably get to bed because
I
it's
don't
like
know.
super late. But
Okay, Faye, thanks for joining us. You're always welcome here.
thank you for having me. Honestly,
So lovely.
I'm having you. You're a big sweetie.
Well, I
I
enjoyed being with you.
More
I enjoyed.
questions. Come up with more good lists of questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to wonder more, Wonder Lady.
Yeah, seriously, I think that was the best segment ever on your channel when you were doing those.
I'm
I know it must be hard to come up with those lists. I'm
not.
not saying that's an easy thing, but
I've got like 700 questions, but the thing is, I'm not happy with. You know what it is? I need someone to help me edit because if I'm looking at someone else's stuff, I can edit it, but when I'm looking at my own stuff, I can't edit it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
That's the
think I
same
get
reason
what you
you
mean.
can't edit
Yeah,
your paper
as
or
far
whatever.
as the
I
getting the
need
exact wording for it.
right. I need a beta reader. That's what I'm saying.
Well, beta reading that I could do for you. That doesn't take that much.
Okay, because
You know,
like
if you wanted to DM me a list on Twitter, I could tinker around with the wording for you.
you're gonna regret it.
Actually, you might because my biggest problem is I tend to be overly verbose.
I have you know those composition notebooks. I have 8 of those filled with questions.
Wow. You are a curious little booger, aren't you?
Well, people fascinate me.
Yeah, and
Sometimes
I love delving into human psychology. I don't have any kind of training with it, but I'm fascinated by it.
uh, it's amazing. You can go say if we all went to a movie and afterwards talked about it, we'd all have different reactions to different characters. We'd all see different focal points. We'd all see just everyone's experience may be different than the other one's, even though we went and saw the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what fascinates me because you could always say, "Oh, what kind of person do you want to love? What kind of person do you want to love?" If you could choose, because you really can't choose who you love. You just love who you love. And
Tell me about it.
Yep.
there's no real, making sense of it. Sometimes you fall in love with a complete jackass and you can't figure out how. So what would your ideal person be? And things like that. And so many people have so many different answers.
Well, I have to say that my fiance is something I would have never seen coming.
Really? Why is that?
Well, to start with, she was lesbian.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, she had been a professional dominatrix, and I had never really had any experience really with BDSM,
Mhm.
and that was something that was a major part of her life. So the idea of being completely submissive to someone seemed very opposite of my nature because I never do anything without somebody giving me a good reason for it.
That makes sense.
So it's not something that seemed at all like we would make a connection, but we connected on other levels, and it was things that I decided I was willing to compromise on because of other things involved.
That's amazing. So you were surprised by it.
Oh, yes, in many ways. We started chatting online because I was kind of questioning and exploring things, but I never expected anything to come of it.
Hi,
He,
Art.
he said, "Come."
It's a very, very good Beavis there, or is that Butthead?
Yeah, that, yeah.
I don't know one or the other.
I never liked Beavis and Butthead, but I love Daria, the spin off from it.
I
I
love
Oh man, I
you.
tell you, if there were a cartoon character that could become real, yeah, and yeah, definitely cartoon crush, call it.
I
Yeah,
knew
I
this butthead. Like I went to school with those two exact guys. They were when that show came on. I just loved it. I had laughed and laughed because it was so stupid. It was so.
that's probably why I hated it because I went to school with too many guys like that.
I was like, oh, I know these guys.
oh yeah, I think okay. I have to go to bed cuz my cat is forcing me. I'm being pawed, I'm getting forehead,
Yep,
I'm getting she's
Oh,
pleading with me to go to bed. Okay. Okay.
I've
And
had that.
then,
Stop.
I've said that at times that handsome kitty says it's time to go to bed. All of your arguments are overruled.
Yep. Yep. I'm
and then,
getting
okay, well, wait a minute,
pawed.
Joe. Patsy's all over you to go to bed. Now, once you do go to bed, will Patsy start walking on the walls?
No, lately what she's been doing is forcing me to go to bed and then she'll lay down next to me and put her forehead against my neck and
oh,
then sleep.
that's
So
so
she'll curl
sweet.
up but right by my head and put her forehead right in the crook of my neck and sleep. So,
Good night, Faye. Good
good
night to
night.
you.
Okay,
And hopefully tomorrow's a better day.
Faye, just
Good
before you
night,
go,
Faye.
have
Right.
you encountered Art Against Ignorance before? They just came into the chat.
I don't remember. I don't
You
think
Okay.
need to
so.
check out their channel. They got some
If
good
you haven't
songs.
looked at the channel,
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
they
Yeah,
got
I
some
took a
good
look. So I
music.
said,
Desesperada.
There's a
yep.
collab between them and Nerdy, and there's some good stuff over there.
I love nerdy stuff. Big time styly.
Well, that's
I'm a
a
big fan of nerdy. I really am.
Okay.
yep. Yeah, Nerdy does some great graphics and an incredible voice.
Yes.
And Art Against Ignorance has done some great protest songs.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, you'll like it.
Cause well, I like creative people too. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I will
Well, and I,
definitely
I
check
think
that out.
using art and music, you know, is the most effective way to really bring attention to the important causes. I'm hopeless at both, but it's something I fully support.
It's one of the only things I'm good at.
Oh, definitely.
I can tell you that just by reading the titles of these videos, that this person is critically underviewed.
Oh, way. Yes.
Yep.
Woefully undersubscribed.
Yeah, they need a lot of promotion.
Well, I'm seeing
Let me take
6
a.
views, 16 views, 15 views, and with the titles of these things, they deserve much more than that. Just off the title, this person
Yeah, I've
can't do
watched everything
more
on
in
that channel.
video production,
Yeah.
right?
Give us more art, more.
Vista Berranda.
I'm still trying
Okay, I
to
don't
figure
know
out
if
how to
it.
get my equipment to work properly so I can do recordings. But haven't got there yet. I need a new computer really bad. This little laptop is just not smart enough.
I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find them. Hold on.
We'll go in the side chat and just click on the three dots next to
That's
the
what I
name.
was trying to do, but my mouse isn't behaving.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's hiccuping on me.
Squeak!
I
Actually,
got it. I subscribed.
Make that tiny
And
squeak!
I'm gonna hit the bell, and I will definitely check you out, Art Against
Yeah.
Ignorance. But I will do it when I'm awake.
Yes, go to bed.
Yeah. But thank you all for such a nice chat.
It was lovely to see
Yay!
you.
Yay!
okay, you get some good
It
rest.
was it was nice, Faye.
It was nice, and we do have to talk, and I would like you on. So,
Yes.
and uh, my question and answer series is driving me nuts. I don't know. But anyway, have a good one. Bye.
Good night,
Night
sweetie.
night here.
She's my buddy.
Okay, I'm not
Yes,
sure
you
if this
bet,
is
Horsa.
YouTube or my computer or what, but I'm I'm having it winding up freezing and pausing a lot, so I don't know
Yeah, I've been getting a
if
little
I'm gonna
buffer
wind up.
going on. YouTube's been really
Yeah.
screwy the last few days. Really screwy.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if I was gonna end up
That's
disconnecting here
nothing
at some
compared to my
point.
studio setup.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go too, guys. I really do. I gotta at least get a couple hours of sleep before I gotta get up in the morning. Luckily, Honey doesn't work tomorrow, so I can have a nap.
Yeah, I've got to get down to the state welfare office and recertify for the assistance I get with the state welfare pays my Medicare premium,
Oh, okay. Good.
which is definitely a very good thing.
Yes.
Okay, well, is it time to wrap this up for the night then?
I guess.
Let's go. I've had a wonderful time. I so
Yeah.
enjoy hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea for me, especially if it seems like my computer might stop if I don't reboot soon.
Oh, you get that stuff too, huh?
Well, like I say, it's like freezing for like 10 seconds at a time. And I'm afraid if I let that go for too long, that, yeah, I'm probably going to crash the browser.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
It's Zoom that doesn't like me.
Oh, yeah, you was having some troubles with that one, weren't you?
Well, I'm not quite sure exactly what causes it. I just know if it goes on for too long, Chrome decides to shut down.
Uh-huh.
Bye, everybody in the chat.
Okay, so good night, all.
Y'all have a good night.
Art, I'm sorry you didn't get here a bit earlier, but, you know, we definitely want to see you around more and see more stuff you put out.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Doorknob, for us, this is a short one. It's only about 3.5 hours. It might actually be the shortest one I've ever done without it being a technical problem canceling it. I don't know if I've ever managed to keep it under 4 hours without being cut off by something technical.
If I go another hour, I'll just have to stay up. I won't be able to.
When I was raising kids, that happened a lot.
Yeah,
That basically I didn't go to bed until after I got them on the school bus.
I've had to do that a couple times, but I can't. I don't recover as fast as I used to, because these are grandkids now. I done raised kids. These are my grandkids.
Yeah.
I'm not as spry as I used to be.
Purple's
Yeah, I
Midnight
get
Soul
you. I was
Searching.
doing that when I was in my 30s, so.
Good night, y'all. I
What
love
did you say, Jen?
Purple's Midnight Soul Searching.
you.
Okay. Well, good night, everybody.
All
I'm
right.
going to
Take
disconnect the
care.
YouTube link
Night,
now.
night, kids.
Thanks for having me.
Did anybody have anything they need to plug before I disconnect YouTube?
No.
Don't give me an opening like that.
Okay, well, didn't know, Diana, if you had a guest coming up you wanted to talk about.
Well, actually, I do. I think some of you may know Angie. You may know Luciano.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luciano is going to be coming on my Coffee with Lavender on Sunday. We're going to be talking about this latest citizenship fiasco with
Awesome.
Trump and the military kids.
Awesome. I like
Have you seen that?
I saw something about that. I didn't read the article, so I don't know what you're
Oh,
referring to there. But
it's even
yeah,
worse than you
I
think
know
it could be.
Luciano from when he was doing some historical pieces.
Yes, yes, yes. And he's quite the whiz with things political science.
yes.
Yeah, and
Uh,
especially with the Latin American perspective.
absolute.
Really smart guy.
He's a big sweetie. I always love having him on because he's always got a studied viewpoint.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to be your guest this Sunday?
Absolutely. I just I gave him a call a couple of days ago and said, "Hey, you want to?" Well, as soon as the news broke about that Trump bullshit later on that evening, I said, "Hey, do you want to come on and talk about this?" Yeah, absolutely. So it's okay. We'll do this. I'm
You
always
couldn't
glad
have
to have
picked
him
a
on.
better person for it.
Yes, I am so thrilled and so happy that I know him and that he actually likes me and is willing to give me the time on the program.
Well, Diana, maybe if you write a letter to Trump, he'd come on.
When I was talking earlier about there were some people I'd like to have on my show, but I need to get my ducks in a row first. The people I'd really like to have on my show are people like Bernie Sanders, like Elizabeth Warren, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. Just nobody's like that. Because I'm sure that we could get some good content going, especially with the presidential candidates. And oh man, what I would really like to ask AOC is, she's going to be 30 years old in October. And that means that the way election cycles go, she could consider a certain office in the 2024 election. It would be interesting if she'd answer the question, first of all, if she's ever thought of running for president. Because that would be a very, very, very interesting campaign.
Yeah, it would.
I think it would be interesting, but I think it would probably be in her interest not to say anything on that topic this soon.
Yeah, I know. because number one, you don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and number two, you don't want to tip your hand.
Right, at least until we see how the next election turns out.
And who knows?
Okay.
You might want to spend some time in the Senate first.
Yep. Well, Luciano on Sunday sounds like that'll be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so we will cut it off here. Like I say, next week I don't think I'm going to be doing live streaming on either Tuesday or Thursday, just because the middle of the week I'm going to be doing a hell of a lot of driving that I don't look forward to.
We will miss
Well,
you.
oh,
So-
speaking of the middle of the week, you do know about Worley, right? David Worley is getting people together to get a
Yeah,
fundraising.
I talked to
rebate.
him about that on Twitter, and I told him that, yeah, it was unfortunately bad timing because he did ask me if I would be involved in that on Wednesday, and there was no way I could do it. So,
Wait a
okay,
minute,
well,
what's going on there? It sounds like somebody's running a hand vacuum.
No, I was just brushing some stuff off of my bed.
Oh, okay. It sounded almost like one of those bellows operated carpet suction cleaners
okay.
that you saw like 100 years ago.
Well, good night, all.
All right, good night.
Kids, enjoy.
Punching out.